And we're back, baby.
We're back. Welcome
After
back,
almost 2 weeks, we're finally back. We're going on 2 weeks that we've been away from you, but our sexy faces are back, and you get to see us again finally.
our sexy, sweaty face because
Sweaty
we're all
face.
burning up. Yeah, you
It's
see that boy
okay.
over there? He's glistening.
It's okay. It's all right. As you can see, I am in a new place. I am in the basement of my new place. That's why we've been gone, and we took this little break because I've been moving. And if anybody who has moved before, you know how much of a hassle that is, and you know how terrible it of an experience it can be. It's been good, and it's we needed out of our old house, and we're just we outgrew it, and that's okay. So the movie room isn't, as you can see, I have my kills mask back here. I have a couple of things hung out behind me. But
I'm pretty sure that thing was in a box, and like 5 minutes before the show, he was like, "Oh shit, I need it," and he's
it
just
was.
on this
It
lamp.
was. You're right. I was like, I need something there. I need a little bit of Mikey back here. So Michael's here. But I'm super stoked to be back, man. I've really missed it. I felt super. I hated that Comic-Con was. I did. I hate that Comic-Con was last week because all of that stuff dropped like while we were on our break and while I couldn't do shows because literally all my stuff was in boxes and being loaded up on a truck. But I'm glad we can talk about it now. We have a lot of shows that we still need to do, by the way. I know we promised everybody that we would do a 500 subscriber Q&A. And because you guys are absolute rock stars, we are closing in on 650. So I think, oh my God, I haven't really talked to you a whole lot about this, but I think what's going to happen is maybe at 650, we'll do a 650 subscriber Q&A, and that'll just be a hangout session. We'll just hang out all night and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Halloween ends. Marvel,
man, we can
DC,
still do like a 500 subscriber celebration because I mean,
we will.
Look, well, by the time we hit 500, we had Mike and Jay, and then next thing you know, we just started getting a shit ton of new subscriber. Which, by the way, thank you so much. We love having you guys on the show with us. Absolutely. And thank you so much. Yeah, again, just thank you, welcome, and enjoy the fucking shit show that we bring every twice a week. So, so I mean, we can still do one and just celebrate that because. Yeah,
we definitely will.
We just didn't anticipate it to grow that much. Not to be pretentious, but we just didn't expect it to grow that fast.
Well,
like that.
And it's not lost on us that, obviously a huge thank you to every single person that subscribed over the last month and a half. But it's not lost on us that a huge portion of that is because of Mike and Jay from We Watched a Movie, and also Frank and Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. So huge thanks to the four of those guys because they've shown us a lot of support. And we really look up to them. And I mean, this is again, we've said this before, but the community of people that we get to share this with and hanging out with all of you guys and getting to talk movies with you is literally like the coolest part of this. And that's why we started doing this because again, we're talking Marvel tonight. When all the Marvel stuff dropped in 2020, it was like, okay, we have to talk about this. Like we need a place to vent and to talk about all of this stuff. And this is it. And I'm super glad to be back. I feel like the show, it's a part of me. It has. It's literally become a part of me. So Jada's in the house. What's going on, buddy? Missed you. He says, yo, how you guys doing? We're doing great, well, man. In the new space, trying to get it worked up. It's been a super. Listen, literally, my wife and I were out of town 3 weeks ago. Then last week, I was moving. We literally, like, as soon as we wrapped our show with Mike and Jay, and as soon as we did our Halloween Ends show, it dropped that night, so we didn't get to do Wednesday. Like literally after last Tuesday night, it was like boom, off to the races, and I was full on moving mode. So the movie room got taken down. I posted a video that was me signing off from the movie room, the old movie room from the last time, which
I saw that one. Yeah,
which was a little emotional because we started in that room. Like that was not every commentary, but most of the commentaries have been recorded in that room. Like we did a lot, but I'm looking for, this is a cool new space, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys around. There's just not much to see yet. I have my Jason Takes Manhattan poster, my Black Widow poster, like underneath of it. I have my wife's grandfather's an old Clock Kong and my Infinity War poster, and that's all I have up so far. So, but
it looks like the basement.
I got Mikey over here too behind me.
It looks like the basement that that kid was in, in the black phone, but he just stayed there for so long. He was allowed to put stuff in there.
It's okay. Listen to those of you listening. I am trapped in Ethan Hawke's basement right now.
Yeah, right.
I am.
He
I'm
showed me a
trapped in
picture of it. He showed me a picture of it before it looked like that. And only thing I sent him, no context whatsoever. Like the first thing I immediately sent him was it puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again, because of the way it looked before it looked like that. Trust me, man, it did not look hospitable whatsoever for the
Hello,
first
Clarice.
days. Yeah,
It's okay. It's gonna be
good
cool,
God.
man. It's gonna be a really cool space. So I'm excited.
No respect. All due respect to your new place. Okay, I'm sure it's fucking lovely. But
Whatever.
when I first got that picture, I was like,
It's like that gif of Donald Trump when he's like, you know what I'm talking about. Jaden says, I can say I was here before all the fame. You were, dude. You're one of the OGs. You've been with us.
Good OGs, man.
Almost this entire 2 years, man. Jaden also says, y'all delivered that lime. Put the lime in the coconut. No. You all delivered that lime stream with Mike and live.
Jesus.
Live stream with Mike and Jay on some top tier shit and handle the trailer drop during it. Perfect. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Really
what were we supposed to do? Like, just piss your pants in like excitement right there? Like, I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, you guys were following all that. Well, no, wait. I was the one that like I was the one that found out that like I confirmed it. No, you guys like were like all like figuring that out. But like I found out that like the trailer got leaked. That was it. But then like 5 minutes later, it was dropped that the trailer dropped, and we were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, "Are we about to do this live stream together? This reaction together?"
I didn't know what was about to happen. It was just it was a crazy and weird and wild time, and I would love to experience it again. So real quick, I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to. I know we're here to have a good time. We're here to hang out, and talk about movies together. But if you're in the chat or if you're watching after the fact, I posted a link, and if you haven't seen what's been going on in Kentucky right now, Kentucky has been rocked by some really, really bad flooding. And while we sit here and we're having a good time together, a lot of people are going through hell right now. And I've actually had a couple of people donate, which is amazing. That is absolutely awesome. And we're really thankful for that. Thankfully, Miguel and I are in a different part of the state, so we're safe from all that stuff. But again, a lot of people are waking up to scenes like this. People have lost their homes. People have lost loved ones. People have lost children, pets, belongings. I mean, it's been a really, really, really tough time for a lot of people. And I know a lot of people don't have the monetary means or the means to donate money. And I completely understand that. But if you can, I just know that there are links out there, there are organizations out there that are trying to support these people. There's more rain expected in Kentucky this week. So I wanted to throw these up just so people kind of get an idea of what's going on here, just because there's a lot of people that are affected by this. So if you have the means to donate, if you have the means to try to help out, every little bit helps. That's awesome. We really appreciate that. I think my wife and I are going to try to figure something out in the next couple of days, but it's a sad thing. So I don't want to bring us down, but I don't know if you're prayerful, if you're listening and you're prayerful. I can't talk. Jay, I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
He's getting on emotional, guys. So give him some slack.
I am. But if you're a prayerful person, just keep those people in your hearts and your minds and your prayers, because they're really going through a tough time. So.
Yeah, man, it's been pretty crazy over there, and it's unfortunate for like a lot of those Kentuckians, because I mean, even though like we're like further like mid Kentucky, we're fortunate enough not to be living in what's like within like mountains and shit. So like those people down there, like they unfortunately like live in a fucking bowl. So like any type of hard rain is gonna start flooding like immediately. So yeah, it's unfortunate for them, and hopefully they can get their. Hopefully people can get out, and hopefully as soon as the rain subsided, they can like rebuild and hopefully live more flourishing lives after this. But yeah, not to get out of that little Debbie Downer mood, but bro, did you like have you been checking on Facebook recently about like all the things that's been coming up with it? Because the one I was surprised with, bro, at Big Sandy, They found a fucking zebra.
A Big Sandy. What's Big Sandy?
It's down. It's southern Kentucky. If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken, yeah,
like with the flooding?
yeah. They found a
They
zebra
found a zebra?
just floating in the fucking in the flood.
What is this,
Yeah,
Jumanji? Like that's
bro.
odd.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
I
bro,
haven't
this poor
I haven't
schmuck.
seen that.
I swear to God, he was literally taken from his home in Zimbabwe or wherever the fuck zebras are from, and literally
Probably
just
not.
ended his life at fucking Big Sandy in Kentucky. Unfortunate, but
Probably
yeah.
not.
Well, I'm just saying, man. Do we have zebras here? I don't think we do, dog.
Okay,
Unless it's a
if they're
zoo.
bred in captivity,
Okay, but why bring a zebra bred in captivity? That's not going to be in a zoo though. That's what I was confused with.
I don't know. That's
Nevertheless,
we're
that was like blowing up like all over Facebook, and I was like, holy shit.
we're
So
insanely off topic right now. But I know Jada just said I'm gonna donate right now, or excuse me, right after the stream. The pics and vids are unbelievable, dude. It's
it's
insane.
pretty bad. Yeah,
I really really feel bad for a lot of those poor people. So
yeah.
um
It looks like a coastal town that got flooded, and like we're all landlocked over here in Kentucky, so it's like almost like insane for us to get this flooded so bad. So yeah, big
yeah.
big prayers to them, and hopefully everything turns out okay,
Yeah,
and
props to you, Jaded.
yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you
Thank
for
you. Yeah,
donating. So, Jaded also says, I say hey to the chat, and Brad has his usual series of pin strokes. Well, listen,
pinstrokes.
what are you gonna do? I mean, it happens. So, uh, I'm going straight to hell. I'm awful. All right, so let's talk about this thing, man. Marvel Studios showed up at this year's San Diego Comic-Con in a very very big way. I was telling Miguel last week, I was like, dude, goals, like one of the highest goals possible for what we're doing with this channel and with this show. I would love to be able to attend San Diego Comic-Con and to be able to report like live from there. Like that would be like god tier Let's Talk Movies if we were able to do that. That would be so awesome. I would love it.
Yeah,
Love it. Hopefully, listen, we've been talking. I assume I'd be shocked if somebody didn't throw together a Halloween 50th anniversary thing in 2028. And I was like, we're going. Like, it's happening. I already told Miguel, we're going to start saving up and it's going to happen. We're going to go. And we're going to report on it. And we're going to have a really great time together. And we may even be naked.
where's it gonna be at?
I don't know. I think if I'm not mistaken,
Hattonfield, Illinois.
if I'm not mistaken, the 40th anniversary, I think, was in Pasadena or San Diego. It might have been in San Diego. I don't know. It was in California, but I don't know if they'll switch that up. They'll probably still do it in California if I had to guess. But yeah, Marvel Studios showed up big, man. One of the biggest reveals that we got was that we are officially, no more speculation, we are officially in the Multiverse Saga, which
Multiverse Saga.
I know, right? And listen, that's been something that's been on our minds ever since Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, ever since Spider-Man No Way Home. The idea that different universes exist and that we can play around to different things. The idea that every Marvel movie, from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films to Tim Story's two Fantastic Four films, Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, like all of that stuff is connected and a part of one overarching MCU. Like that is just, ooh, like that is amazing. It's perfect. Like, did you just say P? It's not P. It's cool. It's peak, but it's not P.
I was talking to him about how his service is terrible. I said P.
Wrong. It's okay. Peak. That's true. That's true. So a lot came. We got some things, some pretty big reveals, obviously, which we're going to talk about those a little bit more in depth. There were two Marvel panels. There was the Marvel animation panel. I'm not sure what hall that was in, but then there was also the big Hall H panel, which is what people show up for. That's where the biggest things have their panels. The Walking Dead had a Hall H panel. Marvel Studios and DC had a Hall H panel, which, by the way, I know everybody thinks that we hate on DC, and I'll just go ahead and admit that we kind of do sometimes, but I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like DC wasn't even there. Like I barely heard anything cool. Like Black Adam was really the only thing that was cool that I heard about from DC at SDCC this year. Like it just kind
I
of
think,
blows
if
my
I'm not
mind.
mistaken, there were like a bunch of like Batman projects coming up. I could have sworn I heard about that.
Are they animated though? I didn't hear much about on the animated front of DC. I'm just talking
It
DC
could have
live
been.
action.
I think.
I mean,
No,
I know
I
like
think it could have been. It could have been like animated, but I could have sworn they announced some like Batman stuff. It could have been a
they could
meme.
have.
Honestly, very much could have been a meme, but it looked pretty fucking legit to me in my eyes.
Can you imagine if they're
Because
just
like
trying
for
to like
some
troll
reason,
everybody with a meme?
yeah, for some reason, like every single, I think it was like a thing going on where everyone was like talking about like The Walking Dead, DC, and like fucking Avatar and all that other stuff, and it was like in the same format as like the way Marvel does their like
Yeah.
does their like multiverse thing. It says like Agatha, I am Groot,
Yeah.
Ant-Man, like that stuff. It was
The
pretty much
Walking
like the
Dead had
same.
one too.
That's what I was saying. I was like, bro, like, come up with something fucking different, my guy. Like, Jesus fuck. Not everyone needs to have that type of format. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But like, you know how like in Marvels, they had literally had for Wakanda Forever, they had like the entire fucking, they had like a whole like Wakanda like musical thing or whatever. Sorry if
It
that's
was great.
disrespectful. Yeah, it was
No,
great.
it was
Like,
great.
do something like that for The Walking Dead.
It was
Like,
awesome.
bro, bring zombies or whatever. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, do something original for
Could
fuck's
you
sakes,
imagine?
my guy.
They're sitting there, and Chris Hardwick and everybody else, like Greg Nicotero, they're all sitting there talking about The Walking Dead, and then suddenly, like a zombie just grabs you and like pulls you into the aisle, and like you know what I mean, starts to wrestle you, and like the crowd starts to be in a panic, and they're like, "We're kidding." It's a joke.
We're
it's okay.
kidding.
Everybody's okay. You're all right. That'd be kind of funny. Jada says DC needs a hard reboot. Just drop everything and start over. I could not agree more, my friend. And I hate it. I hate the fact that we're at that point. I know The Rock has a lot of.
I think this is how I think it's gonna happen. They're gonna drop everything because if there hasn't been any other announcements in regards to like new projects. Like there should be some announcements for new projects at this time, but they haven't. So I think what they're gonna do is that they're gonna drop everything: Black Adam, Blue Beetle, Flash, and whatever else, and then reboot it. Because if they do what Fox did with X-Men, and they just went ahead and announced like, oh, we got bought by Disney, bro.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix got fucking bombed in regards to like the box office, and I think mainly partially it was because of that. Because they announced like, hey, guess what? This movie doesn't fucking make any sense. So yeah, just fuck it. So yeah. So I think they wouldn't even like. They're not even gonna try to like announce like, hey, we're gonna reboot again. But I think that what they're gonna do is just drop everything, let everyone enjoy them, and then just fucking like end it and like just say, hey, we're gonna try again, guys. Which you shouldn't be ashamed of that, man. Look, you fucked up. Okay, that's fine.
See,
everyone fucks up.
I don't know, man. I know like The Walking Dead is doing the universe thing, and like everybody wants to do the universe thing because that's what's popular, and Marvel Studios has made that popular. But
wish I could be
part of me really thinks that DC just needs to stick to the Batman formula. Just do standalone movies. Do the Batman, do Joker, do do a standalone Superman flick and do a sequel to that. Like I feel like DC works better. And if you disagree with me, like whether you're listening right now, whether you're listening after the fact, if you disagree, that's fine. I know that I am very much in the minority on this one, but I just feel like they need to do something different. Like I feel like if they do this hard reboot and they just try to do the same thing that Marvel is doing, it's gonna flop because it's not Marvel. You're never gonna be Marvel. It's just not gonna happen. But it goes back to the same problem that I've said all along. I feel like instead of DC trying to do what DC does really, really well, they're still trying to hop on the bandwagon of trying to catch up with what Marvel has done really well. And it's just like, dude, do your own thing, live your own life, eat your own bread, get your own job, go roll around in the dirt like a dog.
Eat your own bread, eat your own life. Wait, what? Okay,
I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm saying. I wish they would stick to storytelling that suits them instead of trying to.
Yeah.
It just feels like honestly, the I'm just
Are
gonna
you
say it.
lost? Like, bro, you're lost for
No,
words right now.
no, I'm just gonna say it. Even Snyder's Justice League was great.
It ain't gonna
But
save DC.
it came too soon. It's not going to save DC. Even if you restore the Snyderverse, it's not going to save it. I think it happened too quickly. Marvel took. Listen, you can say what you want about Marvel, and I know there's a lot of people that are not. There's some people, and I've seen this, that are not happy about the Multiverse Saga. They're not happy about phases 4 through 6. They think it's not going to hold a candle to the Infinity Saga and what came before, and that's fine. And it might suck, but I don't think it will. But it very well could. But I think DC needs to take the time and focus on what they do well. And what they do well is extremely dark, gritty storytelling, just like what you saw with the Batman, just like what you saw in Joker. Standalone stories that don't need to be connected to a universe, that don't need to be some big Endgame, Infinity War, Age of Ultron level event. It just tell a good story about these characters. Like it's the same thing that I keep saying about Halloween. It's
Gotham
like,
got flooded. And it was fucking
justice
dope.
to the characters. Just do justice to the characters. That's all.
I agree.
That's literally all I'm. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want. Epic Retro Shrine, what's going on, buddy? He says, I feel the superhero fatigue. Avengers Endgame spoiled us. I get that. Listen, I was speaking of Mike and Jay. We were just talking about them earlier, doing our show with them. He said this on their live show the other night about the superhero fatigue thing, and he doesn't really care. And he probably, like Mike said this about, he won't really care until the end of, the saga or whatever. And that's fine. And I know people are sick of superheroes. I know. But I think we're at a point now where
it's nothing new. It's just a place for, it's just another avenue for movies. The same way you like comedy, romance, romantic comedy, action, thriller, suspenseful, horror. Like, it's just another genre that you guys can check out. And
here's the thing.
It just so happens that it's in your face a lot because it's popping.
And I'm gonna try to be quick because we have a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm gonna try to be as quick as I can here. But I think some people would call me a hypocrite because here I am saying, we defended Thor: Love and Thunder, and we were like, you know what, Thor: Love and Thunder was a fun movie. It was a good time. You can have a fun superhero movie just for the sake of having a fun superhero movie without it being the Shawshank Redemption, without it being the Godfather, without it being something crazy. And some people would detract from that and say, well, Brad, DC's just making their own thing. They're just trying to have fun. They're just making fun movies. And I understand that. But here's the thing. I think that the majority of I was not a fan of Batman versus Superman. I just wasn't. I didn't think... I don't know what it is. I mean, it had its moments. I'm not saying the movie was bad. It's not a bad movie. But it just largely kind of felt like it didn't go anywhere for me. I don't know. I am fully aware that I'm in the minority on that one. I completely get it. But like Wonder Woman 84, I enjoyed Wonder Woman 84. I thought it was fun. I thought it knew what it was. It didn't try to be something it's not. It didn't try to build this whole world building arc. No, it was just a fun flick. It knew what it was. Thor: Love and Thunder knew what it was. It did justice to the characters. At least in my opinion, it did justice to the characters. I mean, it was just a cool movie. And I think part of the reason that people are getting so disappointed, and it's part of the reason I'm getting so disappointed in it too. It sounds more hypocritical than I mean it, and I hope it's making sense what I'm saying. But I just think people are thinking too hard about it, and I understand we're greasy, sweaty fans, and we're trying to break it down and talk about it and things like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I hope that came across kind of like I knew what I was talking about, and as J-Dead would say, not like I'm having a series of pin strokes. But did that make sense at all?
It did. And I didn't want you
I
to
really took
feel.
the long way around on
Yeah,
that.
you took the long way around to like kind of defend superhero movies. And I mean, if you just want to like generalize it and just like wrap it in a bow, just know that like it's just another genre pretty much that's just been like how can you say saturated. Like that genre is so saturated right now than it's been since back in the 90s or the mid 2000s. Like yeah, like this like since the events of Iron Man, like and like I think that was like 2010 if I'm not mistaken, or 7, I don't know. But like
2008.
since 2008, the superhero genres became so saturated because of how
Yeah,
easy of a box office that you can get with it. So
yeah,
I think that yeah, is there a superhero fatigue? Without a doubt, I do believe that. Um, I think that's just because it's starting to become not so new, and when it becomes not so new, it kind of just becomes everyone becomes a little bit more blasé about it, and they're kind of getting tired of it. It's the same thing where like a lot of people got upset one year when there was like way too many fucking romantic comedies for some reason. I don't know what year that was, but there was a summer where like romantic
I
comedies
remember
were
that.
like fucking throwing them out. Like I don't remember like I remember I kept seeing trailers about all that shit, and yeah, it just got really old as fuck. So I do get a lot of people's fatigue with superheroes. Just for me, I mean, I still enjoy them. I like if there's a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
DC movie coming out, like I'm gonna watch all the DC movies. I'm
Mhm.
gonna watch all the new Marvel stuff and anything else. Like I'm willing to watch it. So that's just me. I don't really. It's not necessarily fatigue with me. It's just like it just became a norm for me. Like I'm okay with talking about it and like enjoying the movies, but and I'd say I'm a big fan of both DC and and Marvel. Like I both share like love for both of those
We both are.
universes. So
I
I don't
just
know about you, fam. You were
I
fucking
listen.
shredding DC in half.
I love DC. I loved the Batman. I was actually thinking about that movie last night. Like I adored what they did with the Batman and Joker. I adored it. I thought it was the perfect, like exactly where DC needed to be. But the DCEU just hit, it's never done it for me. There's something about the DCEU that just rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't. Um, Jaded says donate to Kentucky Relief. Brad, oh, Brad's upcoming neurological testing. Oh, I'm just gonna ignore that comment. Thanks, bro. Epic Retro Time says, I believe they're rushing so many Marvel films out at once. It hurts the post productions. Even Thor Love and Thunder had some scenes which looked unfinished. I could agree with that. I do think we're getting a lot. And even like looking back at the Multiverse Saga, this is happening over the course of 5 years.
Hmm.
2021 through 2025. That's it. That's literally it. 5 years, and we are going to get the entire Multiverse Saga. That's a lot. And to be fair, I think it's because they're putting content out so much faster. But if you know what's going on with the VFX things, it's terrible. This is terrible. We have a ton. Listen, we talked about this in our last or one of our last episodes before our break. Like we have a ton of respect for the VFX artists, and those people deserve deserve a lot because we wouldn't get these films without them. But there was a meme, and it was the scene from Breaking Bad when when Walt and Saul are like standing like here, and Walt says, "We're done when I say I'm done." Or we're done when I say we're done. And it was like Marvel Studios VFX artists. It's like we're done when I say we're done. I was like,
Yeah, bro.
so that was pretty funny. But seriously, huge props to all of those guys, man. They do an incredible job.
They deserve all the coffee that they're drinking.
They do, man. Derpy says I'm DC fan that doesn't support the Snyder bots and Snyderverse, and that's okay too. I know a lot of people don't like the Snyderverse and they're not about it, and that's okay.
No, like, do you just like, are you saying like you don't support it or like you just don't like the movie in itself? Because like
Mm,
for me, like I like the movie. Yeah, it was 4 fucking hours and that was long as hell, but I mean,
yeah,
I still like the movie. I
It
liked
was
it way
pretty cool.
better than Josh Whedon's cut of it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but I would never never when that movie came out, I didn't think it was gonna be like that's the saving grace, like that's gonna save the DC. It's like no, the
Right.
DC is like gone at that point. Like even like when that whole fight happened with the, like release the Snyder cut, I was like, yeah, the DC's done. If the fans
Yeah,
are like demanding that and like are like trashing Warner Bros that hard, yeah, the DC's done. They're not gonna
I
survive
agree.
that. So
I agree. I mean, again, I don't think it's the saving grace of the DCEU. I don't think it is at
mhm.
all. Am I glad we got it? Of course, I'm glad we got it. I think it's awesome that we finally got the Snyder cut. But I would hire him back. I would have him do more. Um, I would have him do more DC films. I think he did a great job. But I don't. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent. I just hope they continue on what they're doing with the Batman and those standalone films. So.
I agree.
So let's keep talking Marvel, man. Marvel animated the Marvel animated panel had some very interesting things in it. At that panel, we had I Am Groot. We had the first posters and the first trailers for I Am Groot. We also
That was in
had
the animated panel.
it was in the well, it's an animated series. It's
It didn't
completely
seem
animated.
animated. Oh
Yeah,
well, sure, I
I think it's
guess.
completely animated. We also had the reveal of What If seasons 2 and 3. They was stated that they want to keep exploring the endless possibilities of the multiverse with this series, and I'm really happy about that. I know that was one of their most successful Disney Plus series to date, if not their most well. I think Miss Marvel may have surpassed it. But What If is really well done, and I think a lot of people really kind of globbed onto that because of the endless possibilities thing. Um,
Mhm.
Also, X-Men 97 got a new synopsis. The synopsis for X-Men 97 reads, the animated series will explore new stories in the iconic 90s timeline of the original series, featuring beloved characters like Professor X, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Rogue, Storm, Gambit, Magneto, and more, including fan favorite Nightcrawler, which is cool. I'm glad they're bringing that series back.
Bro,
I mean,
it's totally cool. Like
it's
if you
great.
know like if you've like kept up with like the X-Men series back then, like it's gonna be really interesting when X-Men 97 comes up because like I don't know if you guys like not to spoil it if you guys haven't watched it, but then again, like you guys haven't watched it, like what the fuck you doing watching 97?
It's been since the
Uh
90s. You've had 20
yeah.
years.
Yeah, you've had 20 years. So Professor X, Charles Xavier is out. Like he's down for the count. So and I think Magneto was gonna start leading the X-Men at that time.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be really interesting because
it's gonna be cool.
Magneto's design is way different than it did back then. And I know they're gonna bring in more fan favorite characters that have been introduced since then, characters from Deadpool, and I think all the new Marvel projects that came out. So like Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Colossus, and a couple
Yeah,
other people. Like a lot of Colossus has always been an X Men, but like
right.
characters of that era
Mhm.
are gonna be introduced into
I
that
wonder if they'll
series.
throw
So I think it's
Deadpool
really
in there.
cool.
Do you think they'll throw Deadpool in
I
there?
would absolutely fucking love it.
That would be awesome.
For me, I would be kind of like disappointed if they choose a different voice actor because let's be honest, Ryan Reynolds, he's got time. Okay, yeah, he makes yeah he's got time for that.
Yeah.
'Cause that's his star child right there.
Yeah,
Deadpool is.
Derpy, you're correct. It is on Disney Plus. The original series is on Disney Plus as well. Jaded says that X-Men series is still top 3 cartoon / anime series of all time. It's great. I would agree. I would
It
definitely
really
put it
is. Yep.
in. I'd put it in top 5 probably. It's really well done. By the way, speaking of Deadpool, I know a lot of Deadpool's been a hot topic of conversation. They were hoping that we would get something at Comic-Con, but I think they're saving it for D23, which I think they're saving a lot for D23. It's rumored that they're going to announce something with Tom Jane's Punisher, or not Tom Jane's Punisher. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. John Bernthal's Punisher at D23. There's rumor that we'll get something Deadpool related at D23. I mean, I think we'll get the Guardians 3 trailer there. I mean, D23 is going to have a lot more than they had at Comic-Con. But to everybody worried that that Disney's going to tone down Deadpool, did you see Kevin Feige is actually like pretty? He wants to keep Deadpool Deadpool. Like he doesn't want to tone him down or make him like Disney-fied. You know what I
I've
mean? Like
said it should. I
he
mean,
wants him to
that should have been
stay
answered
true.
because Deadpool's already on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know if
it
you've
is.
seen. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Like, is it
people.
just as gory?
It's it's the full.
Yeah,
I mean, they put
yeah.
Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan all on Disney Plus. And
There
I
you
know
go.
there's a lot of parents that are like, it's corrupting my child's mind. Watch.
Christians against Marvel.
I,
I say that as a Christian, just to let you know, man. I'm a
I know,
Catholic, so like, yeah,
really
it's
irritates me.
like it's fucking hilarious.
But like, okay, be more in charge of what your kid watches. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
There's a
If
feature
you don't want
called
them watching
parental
Logan,
control. You know,
if you don't want them,
that wasn't abolished, at any
I
time when
know.
I don't think it was abolished since I was a kid, but there was a thing called parental control on the TVs, so there. Figure
Do you
that shit
remember
out.
on? Do you remember on the old? Like I remember always having to put it in on PlayStation 2, where it's like a 4-number code that you have to put in for the parental control.
Oh, bro, yeah, and my dad did not know how to use it, so I was like, "Dad, yeah, just put this parental control on. That way, you could keep track of what I'm doing." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Don't worry, I'll put the passcode in," not knowing what the fuck he was singing. So like, I just, I had the passcode to it, so it didn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Derpy says the average viewer thought that what Thanos did in Infinity War and Endgame was emotional damage. Imagine a parent bringing a kid to Secret Wars in 2025.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot of a lot of deaths. I'll tell you that much.
It's gonna be pretty rough, and we're gonna get there in just a second. Speaking of pretty rough, Marvel Zombies was another one. And again, this goes with the idea that I think Disney is going to start pushing boundaries a little bit. And I'm happy. If you have not heard, Marvel Zombies, which is another animated show, a spinoff of What If, will be TVMA. Lots of gore, lots of blood. It'll be a scarier, darker tone. The main characters include Yelena, Kate Bishop, Jimmy Woo, Death Dealer, Shang-Chi, and Kamala Khan. The zombies include Hawkeye, the Abomination, Ghost, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Okoye, and there's going to be a whole lot more. I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the villains.
Is it animated?
It's animated. Yeah, and it's going to be TVMA, so they're gonna go there. Like it's going to be pretty like.
And wait, who are the characters again?
The main characters, the main heroes, the human heroes are Yelena, Kate Bishop, Jimmy Woo, Death Dealer, Shang-Chi, and Kamala Khan. But the villains, dude, the villains are stacked. The zombie villains are Hawkeye, the main zombie villains. There will be other ones as well. I mean, I believe Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and the rest of them are still going to be in it as well. But the main zombie villains include Hawkeye, the Abomination, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Okoye, and a couple more.
So is this going to follow like what happened on the What If series? Like, is it just a follow-up or what's going on?
Possibly. I'm not sure if it'll be its own thing or if it'll be I'm not sure. I don't know. It'll be cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty excited. 12 people watching right now, guys. Please be sure to leave us a like if you have not already. Again, I posted the link. If you'd like to donate to the Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief, you can click on that link. Whether you do it now, whether you do it after the show, completely up to you. And it'll take you if you'd like to donate to help those people out because they really need it. They need it right now. Jada says Steve Rogers is confirmed for zombies. I know there's others that are confirmed. They're just the main ones that they put in their synopsis. Epic Retro Time says, I hope that when the X-Men enter the MCU, they don't center all of the attention on Wolverine and give another mutant more screen time.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope we see more of Gambit. Dude, where is Gambit?
Yeah, I totally get that.
Gambit.
Yeah, I totally get that in regards to like just take the focus off of Logan. But I don't think they should like make the focus on someone and like, make the focus on another character. Focus on the group itself. Just like how the Fantastic Four, like everyone was given equal amount of screen time and the story was good. Okay, like each one of them, yeah. So like, yeah, Reed Richard, obviously the leader of the group, but they were able to show all the story of Ben Grimm and like all the and Johnny and Susan. Like they were able to show each one of them collectively well together. So like don't put the focus on another character. Would I like to see Gambit? Yeah, 100%, man. Like I was depressed whenever I found out that the whole Gambit project was canceled. But yeah, like just focus on the school itself, I would say. Like the school and the team and like how it has to like navigate through mutant prejudice or stereotypes or like oppression, because like that's the focus of like the X-Men was like how to save the world while still being going through subjugation as a mutant. Like that's their thing. And that's where it always made me confused, but nevertheless
listen, that's something that X-Men The Last Stand, a lot of people say that's a dumpster fire of a movie. That's one of my favorite X-Men films. I think it's great. I think they handled the whole mutant. It's basically like mutant segregation. I think that was great. I always really enjoyed how they did that. Josh, what's going on, man? He says it's a shame how they're waiting for actors' contracts to be up before going forward with some of their future films. Wasted opportunity for money. I agree with that too. I mean, I think there might be some legality to that too, though. I mean, I don't know for sure, but my guess would be that there's a little bit of a legal hurdle that they have to get over before they can officially sign on for a new project. So I'm not 100% sure how all of that stuff works.
Are they talking for like new, more movie content, more like Marvel stuff, or just like other projects?
Well, like Josh, you can correct me, but I think what he's trying to say is, if you have an actor that is going to be like in a really big role, but they're waiting to announce that film, or they're waiting to announce that role, or they're pushing that project back because an actor is tied up in other films. You know what I mean?
But I'm sure that contract. I'm sure those contracts are pretty much like sealed with like a shit ton of money just to be like, sit here.
Well, of course.
We're gonna pay you to shut up until it's announced. So
it's a bit. I mean, listen, we can sit here and fanboy over all this stuff all day, but it's a business. I mean, we all know Hollywood is a business. It is.
Yeah.
Derpy also says he's here for the Green Day shirt, my favorite band. He also says also the camo hat content from Miguel.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah. Derpy also says, I mean, The Last Stand is not as bad as Dark Phoenix. Oh, it's not nearly as bad as Dark Phoenix or Wolverine Origins.
No, not at all. The Dark Phoenix stories in The Last Stand was much more emotional than Dark Phoenix. I would say that. I would say that wholeheartedly, because it was a doomed mission at the start of the fucking movie when Jean came back in The Last Stand, and just I thought she was more powerful in The Last Stand than in Dark Phoenix, and that says a lot. So yeah, that's how I felt. And the story, and like the Dark Phoenix got enough screen time. The Dark Phoenix storyline got enough screen time and was more emotional. And there was multiple stories in The Last Stand, and it still felt more emotional than Dark Phoenix. I'll tell you that. I'll say that. So
yeah, I agree. 18 of you guys hanging out with us right now. That's awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. Be sure to leave it a like. We were gonna. I'm kind of changing this on the fly, if it's okay with you, Miguel. We were gonna watch the I Am Groot trailer. I still have not seen. I've been holding out for you guys. I love each and every one of you with all my heart and soul. I've been holding out. I still have not watched the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer or the She-Hulk trailer, and we're about to watch them in just a few minutes on the show. Miguel has seen both.
Hey dog, look, when Wakanda, I could not look, dude. Wakanda Forever is literally going to be the movie I'm waiting to see, without a doubt. It is going to be the most emotional and anticipated movie for me, because it's coming out in November, if I'm not mistaken. It's coming out this November. It is. So it's coming out in a few months. Like I am fucking excited about this movie. So I watched the trailer. I didn't care. I'm sorry, guys. I am a fan just like
November
you guys.
11th.
So yeah, I am a fan just like you guys. And when that trailer dropped, I needed to see it too. Like I needed to. Plus, I'm on TikTok a lot, so you might as well have seen the trailer if you're on
it. Josh, I see your comment. We're gonna get to Guardians 3 in just a minute. Because I've heard a lot about that as well. We were gonna watch the I Am Groot trailer. I Am Groot looks like a blast. It's a series of, I think it's like 6 or 7 shorts, like just, probably 10-minute episodes. And it's set after the events of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when we still get Baby Groot. But that, I mean, it's going to be a fun. I'm going to enjoy that. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that. It's just a lighthearted, like, just enjoy Groot being Groot. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be kind of cool.
Agreed.
So, Derpy says, "I'm with you, Miguel. The teaser for Wakanda Forever might bring tears to my tears. You know what I'm talking about, Miguel. Could be.
It's fucking sad, dog.
Now, to wrap up the animated portion of this, definitely the most controversial and talked about thing from the animated stuff was Spider-Man freshman year. And there were a couple different reasons for that. The biggest question on everybody's minds after I was watching people live tweet, I think this was Wednesday morning, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday morning last week. Might have been Wednesday morning. But I was watching Brandon Davis and a couple other people live tweet this, and I was like, what? Like, it was very strange. Have you seen anything about Spider-Man freshman year, Miguel?
I know Daredevil is going to be in it.
Daredevil is going to be in it. As Derpy says, Tom Holland is not voicing Peter Parker, which is interesting.
Well, he probably has other projects he's got to take care of. Honestly, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with like Marvel's What If, like I'm sure like the Marvel's What If stories and like all the like Tony wasn't voiced. The only person I know that was actually voiced, that voiced their actual characters was Killmonger, T'Challa, R.I.P. And let me think who else. I don't think ScarJo voiced Black Widow. Mark Ruffalo did Bruce Banner. He did his. I don't think Gamora. I think Brie Larson did Captain Marvel.
By the way, but like Mark Ruffalo is in it to win it, and I love it. I love that Mark Ruffalo. He's like, I'll show up for whatever. Like, put me in whatever, and I'll show up. Like,
honestly, he's despite all the hate, the Hulk's getting right now. I mean, he's just fucking enjoying the ride.
I love Mark Ruffalo. I think he's I think he's awesome.
Yeah, he's such a Boy Scout. I swear to God.
I really, 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 really hope that we get a lot more Hulk.
Yeah.
Because I think the Hulk has been kind of... So here's the thing. The biggest question that everybody's been asking is, how the hell is this thing going to be MCU canon? Because at the Marvel animated panel, they started explaining what some of the suits were going to look like. So this is an example of some of the suits that we're going to get in Spider-Man freshman year. We got a new look at the homemade suit. So this is Peter's homemade suit, like one of his first Spider-Man suits that he creates. We do learn that Charlie Cox is going to be voicing Matt Murdock / Daredevil in this series. And I'm
loving the 90s design.
It's awesome. Well, and one of the things that I think is going to be really cool about Spider-Man freshman year is that the next couple of images I have to pull up is where we get kind of weird, but it looks very, 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 very comic book, like original Spider-Man comic book. And I dig that. I think that's a really cool way to tie in the MCU with some of the original Spidey comics, which is really, really cool. And I'm excited. But here's where it gets kind of weird. So the Peter's friends include Harry Osborn, Amadeus Cho, Nico Manuro from the Runaways. But the thing that kind of got me, and this is where everybody was like, how is this going to be canon? Literally, how are you going to make this MCU canon? Is the villains that you're going to get. You're going to get Doc Ock, you're going to get Rhino, you're going to get Scorpion, you're going to get Chameleon, you're going to get Shocker. Like, so many iconic Spider-Man villains they're going to use in Spider-Man freshman year. And it's like, bro, he's fighting Chameleon and Doc Ock his first year of being Spider-Man, really? And also, we would have heard about that. We would have heard about Doc Ock and Electro and some of these other characters. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't quite make sense. And there was also a picture of it. It's the same setup when Peter walks in and Tony is talking to May on the couch in Civil
Mhm.
War, it's that same thing, but it's Norman Osborn talking to May. And everybody was like, bro, how is this going to be canon? Because it doesn't make any sense. But it's not canon.
Multiverse.
Yes. Brian Winderbaum, who is the producer, was on an interview with Brandon Davis from comicbook.com, and his exact quote, he says, down to Peter getting the broken Blu-ray from the trash as he walks into his apartment for the famous moment where Tony Stark is waiting for him to offer him the Stark internship and take him back to Berlin. But because of things that happen in the multiverse, because of new random occurrences, it's not Tony Stark who's waiting for him there. It's Norman Osborn that sends his life into an unexpected trajectory that collides him with many unexpected characters in the Marvel Universe. So basically, this is 616 Peter's story, but it's altered. It's basically the same story, but it's altered because of the shift in the sacred timeline. It is following Peter like on his journey after becoming Spider-Man, but it's going to be different though. Things are not gonna. It's not going to push the narrative forward. It's not going to be like It's not going to be like an animated prequel. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Oh, there it is. That was awful. It's not going to be like an animated prequel to Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man story. This is going to be a multiversal story, which makes sense. And I'm glad that we're not going to get introduced to Rhino and Chameleon and Shocker. And well, we already kind of got introduced to Shocker, but like, I'm glad we're not going to get that stuff in an animated series, because I feel like Rhino deserves to be his own villain and his own film. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So
yeah, I would agree. So I mean, when they first announced it, I think they announced Spider-Man freshman year in our very first investor day, and a lot of people were anticipating it to be like a prequel. And while I agreed with that notion, I knew that when No Way, and after the events of like No Way Home came, I kind of figured it was gonna be like a multiverse thing because of the fact because of the events of like Loki, and also the announcement of the Multiverse Saga, or our like general our prediction of the Multiverse Saga. Because again, the Multiverse Saga wasn't announced back then, so but we kind of knew it was going to happen,
right.
so I kind of figured it was just going to be like a, whether not canon or just other universe thing. I kind of figured that's kind of what it was going to be. But I mean, yeah, I'm pretty fucking excited for it. The same way I'm excited for the X-Men series. The design of Spider-Man freshman year looks very similar to how they're going to be doing the design for X-Men 97. Yeah, look at it, man. It looks pretty dope. Go back to the villains in and of itself. The villains look so fucking 90s retro, and I love it.
Well, so, even looking at Doc Ock and Scorpion.
Yeah, he's got the typical green suit, yellow boots, and Scorpion doesn't look like a fucking monster. Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Even Chameleon over there on the right hand side, he's got his same gray, the black and gray jacket, like the leather jacket look. It's cool, man, and it'll be cool. I'm glad it's not MCU canon though. I'm really really glad. Even look at Peter here, even Peter, and I don't know.
Peter looks like a fucking twerp. Oh my god.
Is that Harry in the lab coat?
Let me see. No.
Which one? Where's Harry Osborn?
I don't think that's. Then? I don't fucking know.
Which one is? I don't know. Who knows? But it's gonna be a cool one. I'm definitely excited to see what they do with that. And they also announced Spider-Man sophomore year too. They're already announcing.
Already? They don't even know if this is gonna be a hit.
Oh well, they're already announcing it.
Love the confidence.
They really do. They announced. They announced I Am Groot season 2 before season 1. They announced Spider-Man sophomore year even before freshman year comes out. They do have confidence in a lot of these projects as well. So so that kind of wraps up the Marvel animated stuff from Comic-Con with I Am Groot, with Spider-Man freshman year and sophomore year. What If season 2 and 3, again, another season 2 hasn't even come out and they've already announced season 3. Marvel Zombies, X-Men 97. There's a lot of really cool things. I do think we did kind of talk about DC earlier. I think Marvel is trying to up their animated game a little bit. because it's
Because
an
their
area of,
animated stuff has been like they've been kind of
yeah.
weak over there. I mean,
It has been weaker. I mean, a lot of their like
mm,
even looking at Disney Plus, a lot of their animated stuff recently has been for little kids. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I mean, they need that, and that's cool. But again, X-Men, the stuff from the '90s, from our generation, like I think the Spider-Man animated, the booby dum
mm.
bum bum boo bum ba Spider-Man
Yeah,
Spider. You know what I mean?
not the
That whole
one
thing.
from like not the
Um,
Drake Bell one and all that other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Even dude, I loved the anime. Do you remember the animated Hulk series? That was
Mm-mm.
great. That animated Hulk series was incredible. I loved that, and I've actually watched that on Disney Plus as well. It's really really cool, man. J-Dad says Spider-Man assisted living facility just got announced. That's awesome, man. That's
That's pretty
awesome.
fucking hilarious.
Sounds like they're gonna have a new villain every episode. That would suck, in my opinion. I agree with that. I think the villains need to be reoccurring and they need to build storylines. I think that would be kind of boring if it was just a new villain every episode. Because
Well,
even the
at least in this one, they're not gonna die as soon as they're introduced. They're not gonna
true, but
die in the 2 hours that
even
the movie happens.
even the even the villains in the '90s shows all had story arcs that lasted multiple episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Jada also says that Daredevil outfit though, dude, it looks sick.
it
It
does.
really does. Let me pull it
Yep.
back up. It looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dope.
I think they're gonna try to go back to. I think with like Daredevil, they're gonna try a lot of different suits for Daredevil, because you know how like the trend for this saga is like more like comic accurate, like retro. You know what I'm feeling right there.
Yeah. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
So I think it's really cool. Like, because honestly, like, back then it was like, oh, let's just see the original. Let's just see like the most, what's it called? The mainstream suit, I would say. Yeah, let's just see
Right.
the mainstream suit, and then. But now we're just gonna go ahead and catch all these other new suits that are happening. Same thing will happen with Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch, Thor, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
anything Hawkeye, Kate Bishop,
Hawkeye, that's another one too.
and
Yeah.
that
The
got pretty
purple.
comic accurate as well. Yep. So yeah, I'm pretty down with all that, man. Like, I kind of like it, even though
I do too.
it makes it seem more comic booky, and I think that's where a lot of people are saying like it's getting a little bit more childlike, because the costumes are starting to become a little bit more like colorful, and like what I'm talking about. Like, it's like it stands out too much, and it's like, bro, like they're superheroes. Like, they gotta accept it.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Real quick, Epic Retro Time says off topic, but I want to see a dark and gritty TMNT movie. Can you imagine a dark take on TMNT with its sequel being The Last Ronin? That could work.
Yeah.
It
Do you
could
know about the
work.
Last Ronin storyline, Brad?
I don't actually. I'm not a. I was
So
never
I
a
won't.
big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
I about to
kid.
say, like, if you for some reason you want to read it, I'd recommend checking out the comic. But like, pretty much the premise is like, I'm not gonna spoil everything. But I would just say like like most of the turtles died except for one, and you don't know who it is in the beginning. So you got to figure out like who it is in the beginning of the story, and then whenever you figure it out, it just follows the story of the last turtle and his journey as the last Ninja Turtle, and there, and
Yeah.
everything. It's so dark, it's so gritty. It's yeah, it's definitely like a far step away from what we've caught in like all the movies and animated shows.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why a lot of people were gravitating towards it, because it's just, it made it like, that story is pretty fucking emotional, I gotta say. And they really hark on the idea of him being the last of the turtles. So
Right. Yeah, man, for sure. Jaded brings up a good point. Also, if you can't donate right now, just share the link for Kentucky Relief. That would be a lot of help. Yeah, let me pull those back up real quick, because we have more people watching now. If you haven't seen on the news, again, Miguel and I don't live in an area of Kentucky that's affected, but a lot of people are kind of going through hell right now. Because Kentucky's been rocked by some pretty bad flooding, and we're supposed to get a lot more rain this week. So I posted the link in the chat earlier on in the show, and if you can donate we would really appreciate that. And I know those people would appreciate it too, because people have lost homes, people have lost pets, people have lost loved ones. I mean, this is really bad. So we really, 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 really appreciate it. Just like he said, even if you can't donate financially, just share the link, just tweet the link out, share it on your Instagram story, do something, and just try to, at least try to get that link out there, because they need help. They need a lot of help over there. So
yeah.
We have a spammer, and I'm trying to get that out of there. JDad, if you want to help me out with that. So let's move on here. So one of the more interesting ones that's really upcoming is She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which, let me pull up the poster here. I have a lot of different graphics for this episode. We got a new poster. Let me come over here to this end where you can see me. New poster for She-Hulk, with Tatiana Maslany sitting on the bench, and you see her She-Hulk character there as well. Cool poster. I mean, I just want more Hulk content. Like, I'm glad we're getting more Hulk, period, in the MCU. You know what I mean? Because I do think that Hulk is a very underused character so far. So I have not seen the trailer for She-Hulk yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and watch it right now, because I want to see it. Miguel, did you watch this one yet?
I did.
Okay. Well, screw you. I'm kidding. Let's watch it. So here we go. Trailer reaction for She-Hulk Attorney at Law in 3, 2, 1. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Oh my god.
Wow! Jeez, what the hell, man?
Still in control, no overwhelming feelings of rage.
No, a normal amount of rage.
You do revert back to Gen form when you sleep.
Was the air horn really necessary?
For comedy, absolutely.
For comedy.
That's awesome.
This is a multi-year journey you're
I
about
love
to
it.
embark on.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's your best friend?
Nikki.
Spandex. Spandex is your best friend. Being a Hulk asks for balance.
I love how he says being a Hulk like it's a species.
You have so much more to learn. Yes!
So I'm clearly nailing it at all these things.
If you want to go back to life as a lawyer, I respect that.
He doesn't.
We can have fourth
so
wall
she
breaks
could-
in this thing.
Yeah, she could do fourth wall
More
break. I think
eccentric
it's cool.
superhumans are coming out of the woodwork.
Oh yeah, because she's a superhuman lawyer.
We're going to launch a division for them. And I want the She-Hulk to be the face of it. Jennifer Waters.
Hey.
Namaste.
I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin, Bruce.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Oh. People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky. I think they care because they're like, hey, that girl's green. Jen, do your thing. God, I really like this outfit. I'm not proud of this.
Miss Walters, we answer to a higher power.
Wong!
Universe is on the edge of a precipice.
I am a lawyer.
Bro.
We do things by the book.
The Book of Ashanti.
No, the book of American laws.
Whether you like it or not, you're now a superhero.
Let's do this. You know that friend you had in high school who was way cooler than you were, attractive, got all the attention from everyone? Hello.
I think I'm jealous. Is that what I'm feeling?
Dude.
Yeah. Daredevil.
Dude.
They're
that looks
introducing
awesome.
Daredevil in it.
Dude,
I think
that
it's pretty dope.
That looks pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for, dude. Abomination looks sick.
He does.
really does.
And I think with the Abominations, I think his CGI stuff looks way much better than anything I've seen in the series.
It does.
All due respect.
I still don't think it's done. Probably. I don't think that it'll. I don't think it'll look like that. I don't think it'll look like that in the main show, but it looks fun, dude. This series looks cool, and I think this presents a really, really cool opportunity since she is an enhanced or a superhuman lawyer. I think we'll see a lot more mutants in this series. I think
not right now. I think we're still gonna get a bunch of you know. I don't think we're gonna get mutants just yet, but I think this will. I don't think we are. So yeah. Why bother put it in there, man? Like, I'm just saying.
Because it would be a cool place to do it if she's having to represent mutants. That's a way for you to build that that's a way for you to build that part of the universe, to build the mutants thing, to build the idea that mutants are kind of trying to integrate themselves in society, but society is pushing back. Like, I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to do.
No, definitely. I think the way this series is going to go is that they're going to start that superhero division, but her only client is just going to be Emil. And, she just wants to be a regular lawyer. So she's going to try to do, wants to be like a regular lawyer, regular clients. But everyone's going to be mainly focused on Emil Blonsky. So, that's what she's going to have to deal with. She's going to have to deal with trying to, like, assimilate into being a superhero lawyer, and then after the season is over, they'll go to mutants. Who knows? Maybe at the end they'll announce it, because dude,
Blonsky was always one of my favorite Marvel villains. Abomination is sick. Like, he's
I would say, dude, that's the one villain that I know. That was like the first villain that like didn't die. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, didn't die within the first movie,
and he's like still relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, still relevant to this day. So I was like,
but
cool.
even
I think that's why we love him.
Even if you go back and look at some of the older Hulk comic books, though, the Abomination is like his arch enemy. Like, it's like his, I don't know, it's his Red Skull to Captain America. You know what I mean? It's his Venom to Spider-Man, or Goblin to Spider-Man. Like, that Abomination and Hulk are just two insane forces that, when they meet, it's just chaos and destruction. You know what I mean? I love it. I've always really, really enjoyed that. Jaded says Tim Roth. Yeah, dude, Tim Roth is an awesome actor. He did a really good job. Even in The Incredible Hulk, he was one of the best parts of that movie. Like, for real.
He was the most like
really
unhinged psychopath.
Yeah,
he was the most like tactical, unhinged psychopath that you could can imagine. Yeah.
Do you remember when he straight up like tried to like fight the Hulk in his human form? He tried to like drop kick the Hulk. Yeah, right.
Is that all you got? I was like, what the fuck? Like,
and then he punted him across like 3 football fields.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was awesome, man.
Well, that was what was good about it, though, was the fact that Emil Blonsky was just like, like, even before he got the superhero serum, like, he was still ready to fuck like Bruce Banner and the Hulk up, for that matter.
Yeah, he was ready to what, Bruce Banner?
Fuck Bruce Banner up. My accent isn't that bad, guys.
Moving on. Epic Retro Time says, I hope they get away from the whole smart Hulk after this. We need Angry Hulk back. Well, my friend,
we very well could, man.
My theory and my hope, I don't know if I call it a theory, but my hope is that, there have been rumors that we're going to get World War Hulk for a long time, and that World War Hulk could even be the biggest crossover event of this saga prior to the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. And that makes sense, because the World War Hulk in the comic books it's one of the biggest Marvel story arcs ever. I mean, it's huge. It's a very, very big. Hey, the light came back on. The one of the lights down here is on an automated timer. But World War Hulk is a massive storyline. And you could have a lot of characters making a surprise cameo or a surprise appearance in that. And that could be really, really cool. So my theory is that maybe in a post-credit scene, maybe at the end of She-Hulk, he'll turn back into Savage Hulk. And maybe even she tries to fight him and the Hulk beats her or whatever. Like that. I don't know. It could be kind of cool. It'd be interesting.
I agree.
Josh Boyd says the She-Hulk trailer is much better than the first one. I'm now interested in checking this out. Dude, I'm excited, honestly. I'm really, really, really excited. I'm really, really excited. That's what I meant to say. Josh also says, are any of these new Marvel phases building to anything? Phase 4 is almost over, and I don't think we've really gotten anything as far as a super baddie. Stay tuned, my friend. We did get that at Comic-Con. We got a we got the end of what we're building to, and it's going to be really, really exciting. Another, let's talk about some real quick before we get to the biggies, that because there are some others. We're going to get to Wakanda Forever. We're going to get to Quantumania and a couple of those. But there's some that we didn't really get a whole lot about. Echo. We don't know much about Echo other than this is the Hawkeye spinoff. It'll be Maya's hero backstory. It'll bring back Charlie Cox and Daredevil as Daredevil and Wilson Fisk. That'll be a cool one. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with it. There's not really much to say on it because we haven't seen a trailer. We haven't gotten a synopsis. That's still kind of, I think, in the early stages of development. Much like, season 2 of Loki, which I believe, have they wrapped filming Loki? I know there were some behind the scenes.
No, they started filming.
So they're still filming it. Okay. So we had, Loki season 2. I know Blade is another one. Blade has been announced, but we didn't get anything new about Blade. And hopefully we get more about that at D23. Same thing with Ironheart. Ironheart's been announced. We know Ironheart is going to make her debut in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Riri Williams, that's her name. But her series is slated, I think, right now for next fall. Same thing with Agatha, Coven of Chaos. We got Agatha in WandaVision, and she was a cool character. I don't know what to think of her show. I'm going to be straight up. I don't know if
cool.
It's going to be cool, but I don't know if I'm really excited for it or if I'm just kind of like, it'll be fun. Like, I'm kind of torn because it could be insane, but it could also be different and out there too. I will say this, I do like that we're starting to bring in different groups of people to the MCU. Like, it's like,
yeah, man, it's like what I said.
Like, well, yeah. But we're
it's like what I said was like, it's like what I said. Like we're just gonna get a lot of avenues that we can enjoy, pretty much. Like if you if you don't like what's going on with Daredevil, you can go watch Agatha, or if you don't like Agatha, you can go watch Spiderman and like all that other stuff. But yeah, I think this Agatha thing is gonna be kind of funny. I think it'll be mainly like comedy-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Also, Catherine Hayne is like gonna be she's coming back, and I love her as a character, like as an actor. She's been in a lot of great movies. My favorite one of hers so far is the Do-Over with like Adam Sandler. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Honestly, though, like to be completely honest, she did a really great job with that because for taking a character that was not in the comic books, that was just for all intents and purposes, she was kind of a side character up until those last couple of episodes. She took that character and made it a character that people really... Is she really?
Yeah. She's an older lady, but yeah. Yeah, Agatha Harkey, yeah.
No way. You're lying to me.
Yeah, from right now, yeah.
Wow, she really is.
Agatha definitely is, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's okay. We all have parts.
You learn something new every day. It's okay. But she took that character and made it something that a lot of people really, really liked and really love. And a lot of people say that she is arguably the best part of WandaVision, is when we figure out it was Agatha all along and all that stuff. Yeah. Josh says Agatha worked in WandaVision, and I'm sure they have some good stuff planned for her show. If nothing, it should be at least more entertainment. 100%. I would agree with that. I think it's going to be kind of cool. Jaded says, could you imagine a few years from now a Blade Deadpool crossover? That'd be sick. That'd be pretty dope.
That would be pretty dope. Yeah,
I think that'd be really
Deadpool
cool,
should be. I think Deadpool should be like assimilated in a lot of these fucking things. I mean, yeah,
I do.
I mean, Blade's gonna be pretty fucking dark. I'm sure. Like, I'm pretty sure it is gonna be vampires and shit. But dog, let's be honest. Like, Blade. Deadpool can be dark as fuck too. Like, dark humor, if that, but dark nonetheless.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say earlier, I kind of started to say it and then we talked about something else. I like that we're starting to bring some diversity in our character groups. Like, and I don't mean that diversity necessarily in the ways that we talk about in society, but like, we're starting to get mutants. We're starting to get vampires. We're going to get the Atlanteans in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We have the Skrulls for Secret Invasion. We have the witches with Wanda and Agatha. And I mean, it's cool that we're starting, like, it's starting to feel more like the comics. And I think that's where a lot of people are kind of starting to be like, whoa, this doesn't feel like it felt before. It doesn't feel like it felt. No, I'm kidding. But I think that's part of. I think the MCU. Honestly, this is like the best way that I've been able to put it. I think the MCU is in growing pains right now, and it's not pains. It's still successful. It's still doing great, but I think it's in growing pains in terms of how much it's being accepted by people. I think
I've never thought to call it growing pains. Jesus Christ.
Well, but it's not pains. Growing pains makes it sound like it's at a low point. It's not at a low point. It's just it's different. It's trying to evolve into the next thing. And I think that scares people and makes people go, whoa, this doesn't feel like the Infinity Saga. This feels different. And it's like, okay, but it has to feel different or else we're just going to be treading the same water that we've been treading for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
imagine if we stuck with like that whole thing over and over again. We'd get superhero fatigue quicker than we are right now.
Yeah, 100%. Completely agree. Josh says Deadpool takes off his mask to reveal it's Wesley Snipes, and we get a death off. The best Blade wins. That's awesome, dude.
Bro, I know
Wesley cameo.
Yes. For fuck's sakes, man! Please let there be a Wesley Snipes cameo. Like he can do it.
If I'm not mistaken, hasn't Wesley Snipes been in like a little bit of trouble though? The last couple of years.
No.
I feel like maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Let me see.
He went to jail for tax evasion. Yes, okay, man. That shit sucks. And I know my wife Shakira is gonna get sent as well, but you know what? It shit happens, okay? But he was in Expendables, and that goes to show he's still accepted in the movie industry. In the mainstream movie industries, I don't know.
When you Google Wesley Snipes, one of the first thing that comes up on people who ask is, whatever happened to Wesley Snipes?
Some people wonder.
Yeah, it was tax evasion.
And also, you forget, Wesley Snipes has worked with Ryan Reynolds. I want you to know that.
Yeah.
In Blade.
Yep.
Yeah, Hannibal King. Like he played as Hannibal King in Blade. So it'd be so fucking hilarious if we got a Blade and Deadpool crossover and Wesley Snipes as a small cameo. That'd be fucking hilarious. But then again, I know there is some like conflict between them because Wesley Snipes is kind of hard to work with. I'm not gonna lie. If you like read up on like the behind the scenes of like the whole Blade series back then, especially Blade Trinity, insane. It was like it was pretty hard.
I don't know if I knew that. Listen, he had 3 pretty good films as Blade. They were pretty cool flicks.
Blade 2 was probably Blade 2 was definitely the better of the 3. Blade Trinity tried to do something that was just like it tried to do its normal like 90s like out of the ordinary thing.
Yeah, Trinity was probably my least favorite out of them. I always liked 2. 2 was really
2
cool.
was pretty dope. Yeah.
Honestly, I think 2 might be better than 1.
Yeah, but the main reason why I liked like the Blade in and of itself because it gave you like an underground world. It really set the tone of like, hey, look, here's the normal world where you go to a sidewalk coffee shop and get like a bagel and a suspect cup of coffee. But then underground, there's a whole world of vampires where there's status, there's hierarchies, there's different factions of vampires like True Blood, Mixed Bloods, all that other stuff. There was like a whole other world of like vampires that would just introduce with Blade with the Blade series. And I hope they do that with this new is it a movie or a series? It's a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah.
I hope they bring it in because like you said, with Skrulls, Atlanteans, Wakandans, and vampires and witches, there's we're getting the comics, but just on the screen. And that's pretty fucking dope. And that's something that that's something that Marvel wanted to do back in the 90s for so long, but it failed so hard. And that's why they had to go into bankruptcy and sell to all of these fucking bullshit studios. So now that Marvel and Disney is trying to they're doing great and they're trying to bring it all back. They think, hey, look, I mean, we got the momentum. So let's just start throwing these things out here and trying again because, hey, people are loving it. So, and I'd agree. I'm fucking loving it. I love Blade and watching all those other shit and learning more about those vampires back then. It was very like underworld-ish, and I hope they don't try to go for that because you're gonna miss if you try to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
just
that was
do
also
your own atmosphere
that
for
was
that
it,
regard.
you said it's very underworldish. I mean, I think like Underworld, like the movie Underworld with what's her
Yeah.
name, not Mila Jovovich, but you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of what her name is. But it was a product of its time. It felt very early 2000s. It did, and that's okay.
It was very grunge, like Evanescence, like grunge.
I say that in a good way. I don't say
Like,
that in a negative way at all. I mean, it was really good. What's up, Rosalia? She's in the chat. She says, good soundtrack on the first film. Dude, that first Blade soundtrack did the 90s, 2000s thing. Yeah. Well, and it did that thing where it's like a remix of different songs on the soundtrack. It's not like it's a score. It's like all the different like 90s like hit songs. It was pretty sick, man. It was pretty cool.
Kate Beckinsale is the one from Underworld.
Yeah, Kate, that's who I was thinking of. By the way, can I admit something live on the show right now? Can we have like real talk?
Oh god, we're gonna get canceled.
No, we're not. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. People, we might lose listeners for this. No, I'm kidding. I won't. So we were in school when the Twilight movies came out, and I remember watching the first one, and I remember watching part of the second one, but I hadn't seen a single thing after that, and I hadn't seen them in years. And I sat down. This was probably about a month or so ago. And I sat down in my living room to eat lunch, and my wife was, and I was like, "Are you watching Twilight?" And she said, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I'm watching Twilight." And I was like, "Okay." So I sat and watched it, and then she put on New Moon, and I sat and watched New Moon, and I was like, "I have to continue." I was like, "I can't not finish it." So I watched the entire Twilight series over the last month, and I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. I had kind of a decent time.
I mean, it's not a terrible movie. Just
it's really not. Listen,
just not my cup of tea. The second I found out there were glistening vampires, I was like, you lost me there.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's not like great storytelling. The movies aren't. That's not a Stephanie Meyer dig. I haven't read the books. I'm sure the books are great, but it's like it's not earth shattering. But like, I still enjoyed it nevertheless. I mean, it's not the greatest movie I've ever seen. I wasn't like glued to the TV, but I was like, I don't know, I can get down with this. Like, I'm okay. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I was like, I'm sitting there watching Breaking Dawn, and I'm like, I'm weirdly okay with this. Like, I've seen watching this right now.
I've seen way too many like parodies of like the Twilight series for me to actually enjoy it. So I don't want to talk about the Twilight series anymore. So
it was fun. It's just very like
not my cup of tea.
It's just very like, I love you not. I love you, but I don't. I love you, but I don't. I love you, but I don't. And it's like, bro, you just make a decision. Like, somebody needs to make
Bella was like, you marked my son? I was like, wait, what? Wait,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, when
what?
I forget exactly what it was. Yeah, I don't know. But it's okay.
I said marking is a different subject when it comes to dogs. So kind of scared what the fuck they mean by marking.
Yeah, that's not wrong kind of marking. Jaded says Brad cosplayed as a shimmering vampire freshman year. What can I say? No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
Hey, you want the pics, guys? I'll post them.
Josh Boyd says, love is going with your significant other to the theater and watching all the Twilight series before the midnight release of Breaking Dawn 2. Listen, Julia said she went and saw like the midnight premieres of Breaking Dawn 1 and 2. And I did not, but I'm glad I finally caught up. To be fair, I have said that like for you. Thanks, Rosalia. She says no shame. I have said for years that I just needed to bite the bullet and watch the last 3 of them because I hadn't, and now I have. So it was fine. It was fine. It was kind of cool. It was fine. It was cool. I enjoyed it. But anyway, we're moving.
Good yet? He just said it's fine. Okay, guys, it's fine.
Good. It was good. I did enjoy it. Anyways, we got. I don't even know what we were talking about. We're super off track.
Vampires.
Yeah, we were talking about that. So another one that I'm super stoked about actually, and we kind of touched on this a little bit. I guess, do I not have the logo up? I guess I didn't add the logo in. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Secret Invasion. We just talked about Skrulls a minute ago. You know, at first I was kind of iffy about Secret Invasion. I wasn't I wasn't super excited, but the more and more we hear about it, and the more and more that they build this up, I'm kind of like, Secret Invasion could be really cool. It appears that it's going to be a pretty big crossover event, and it's going to be a very different tone than a lot of the Disney Plus series. Kobe Smulders was at the panel for Secret Invasion, and she said
Robin.
she said this is a darker show. Are they Skrull? Or excuse me, this is a darker show. We're going to get deeper into these characters. We're going to see them in new ways, and it's going to be an exciting thriller, and you're never going to know who people are. Are they a Skrull? Are they a human? It's going to be a bit of a guessing game. And
I would say it's kind of hard to like it's gonna be kind of hard to like see like the Skrulls in this different type of light, because like I saw
will.
like me and my girlfriend, like my girlfriend wants to like watch all of the Marvel stuff in order, so like we saw Captain Marvel recently. And like it like they've really like, I remember when I saw Captain Marvel and I was really thrown off by the twist that they had in regards to like all the Skrulls aren't actually bad. They're just fucking refugees, and the those other guys are really fucking bad. And like I was kind of like, oh shit. Like I think I remember talking about it, like I was like, ill. But then like, I kind of fucked with it too because of what's his name and how he acted. And I was like, yeah, I kind of vibe with it. So when we see Secret Invasions, it's gonna be the same thing for me as with Captain Marvel. It's gonna be like, I kind of miss it when you guys were like,
I know,
you
right?
don't like don't be evil. Like, yeah,
You're like, I miss it when I felt bad for you, like
Yeah,
when you were
yeah,
the
like-
victim.
yeah. Like, I felt bad for you like 5 years ago. Like,
Right.
like don't make me hate
Yeah.
you now.
Well, this is from Marvel's official website. A description of the thing. It says footage played in the room highlighted the darker tone for the MCU, with the opening of the clip showing a conversation between Maria Hill and Nick Fury. He's been off-world for years, ignoring her calls, but he's finally come back because he knows the threat is too great. But just how bad is it? In another scene, Fury is seen asking James Rhodey Rhodes, aka War Machine, just how well he knows his assigned protection, as things between the two men get very tense. So it's even from that little bit of a description, that's not a ton of it, but it seems like this is going to be a little bit darker, which I'm here for. Loki was fun, but it still wasn't dark. Really, none of the Disney Plus shows have been super, super dark. WandaVision was heavy, but it wasn't thriller-esque. I think it's very interesting that Colby Smulders actually used the word thriller in this, and you could listen, it could be kind of scary, like even thinking about the guessing game, like a whodunit type thing of, are they a Skrull, are they human, like you can't trust anybody. I think that could be really cool. And there's like, if we're talking about coming from a horror fan, like if we're talking about thriller elements, I think it could be really cool to throw in like with the guessing game thing, like some elements of a horror flick or a thriller movie in the Secret Invasion thing. I think that could be kind of cool,
I agree, and I don't know if you mentioned it, but like Emilia Clarke's gonna be in this one too. So, and her role is
Oh
still
yeah,
very unknown.
I forgot about that. That's true, 100%. I'm kind of shocked you guys are actually talking about Twilight in the chat, which I'm pretty down for. I'm okay. Hey, listen, I enjoyed it. Like I actually kind of did. Jada says this chat is Team Edward. Josh Boyd says he says, "What's Edward's favorite time of the month?"
Oh my god! Oh shit! I haven't heard that one. Oh golly! Oh blessed all be. Oh my goodness! Oh shit! That was good. I like that one. Golly! Oh,
What
fuck.
did I just read? What did I just read? I have.
You
That
read
caught
you,
me-
you read a comment from a husband that just had to watch the fucking Twilight series. So you
Listen,
thought it's
Josh, I want you to know my wife is upstairs. As soon as we're done with this episode, I'm gonna go upstairs and ask her that very question. I want you to know that. And she's gonna look at me like I'm an idiot, but it's okay. Because she looks at me like I'm an idiot anyways.
Oh, he's gonna
Okay.
sleep downstairs, guys. He's gonna
Okay.
sleep downstairs.
It's okay. That's all right. I'll accept that for that joke. That was awesome. That was pretty good. So another one. It's very interesting. Another really, really big one here that we haven't touched on. Just a couple more. We got a little bit of information about this, and we got a poster. This is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We get an actual blue comic book accurate Kang, which is pretty sick with the blue background. Cassie Lang has been recast, which I'm actually not too happy about because I liked the chick that played her in Endgame. I thought she did a really good.
You liked her so much that you didn't even remember her name.
I forget. I know. I forget what her name. Let me.
Oh, I missed that chick.
That chick. That's not what I mean. I follow her on Instagram because I followed all the Endgame cast. What's her name? What is her name? What is your name, child? Emma Furman. That's what it is. Emma Furman. I thought she did a really good job as Cassie. But they recast her for whatever reason. But it seems like they're trying to keep Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania pretty under wraps. I think it's going to be a pretty important one. Paul Rudd was at Comic-Con and he said Scott is pretty pleased with himself and his role with saving the universe. He even wrote a book about it titled Look Out for the Little Guy. And it says everyone else loves to tease him about it. So Scott Lang is writing a book about the events of Endgame, and he's super stoked, and it looks like it's going to be a fun time. Stoked.
Oh, okay.
He's soaked in sweat from writing his book. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
But it's going to be a cool one.
This man's a fucking legend. He knows magic. He knows how to drum on Rock Band, and he also wrote a book.
Did you hear that MODOK is supposed to be in this film?
In Quantumania?
Yep.
MODOK. I heard that MODOK was mentioned in this event, but I also heard that he was not going to be the floating head with mechanical arms MODOK. He's just going to be a robotic MODOK, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't feel about that. I don't like that actually. I don't think. I know Bill Murray has been rumored to have a role. So could we imagine if Bill Murray voiced MODOK? That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. God. Josh Boyd says he is. Kevin Smith confirmed seeing him, and it was confirmed to be him. There you have it, folks. Bill Murray is MODOK. That'll be fun. That'll
Murray
be a cool one. MODOK? I mean, I think. I don't know. I don't know what his role is going to be. I think he might be more of a cameo type thing because you already have Kang, and I feel like Kang is going to take up enough screen time, and you're already going to want to hang out with Kang a little bit more. You know what I mean? You're going to want to see him because you have to remember this. Let me pull the poster back up here. This is the first time that we're going to see Kang in his full-on comic book accurate self. You know what I mean? We saw him as a normal guy at the end of Loki, but I think this could be pretty interesting. What do you mean?
I don't know. There were some leaked footages on the whole panel from the panel, and it showed the trailer of Ant-Man Quantumania, I'd say. And
I don't think there is a trailer yet though, because I don't think they're done filming.
There was a first look of Quantumania, and it showed an interaction between Ant-Man and I'm blanking so hard right now with Kang, and Kang was like, I think.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. I forget. So you're an Avenger. Have I killed you yet? Like, can you imagine how fucking scary that is? It's like you meet this supervillain, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna kick his ass, and then Kang is like, have I killed you yet? It's like, wait, what?
You're right. I did see that because I think he says, I'm an Avenger, and Kang says, and I'm a conqueror. Like he said, like it's something like cool like that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I completely blanked about that. But yeah, man, the bots, man. The bots are crazy tonight. We're getting naked. The future is here. Whatever. Go away. I don't care about you. We're here to talk about movies, not that. Like, shut up. Go away. Nobody wants you. Another one. This was brought up before. Josh, I think you brought this up. But apparently the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had everybody in the room like sobbing by the end of it. Very emotional, based on what a lot of people have heard. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be a massive shift in tone from Volume 1 and 2. James Gunn has said that this will be the conclusion of the Guardians era of the MCU. He had this to say at Comic-Con. James Gunn said, "I think it's been really about telling one story between 3 films with a couple of sideways adventures, but I think it really is about the one story. This is the final arc that we began at the very beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy with Peter Quill, with Rocket, with seeing where Nebula goes, even with Kraglin, who started out as saying 1 or 2 lines in the movie and who is now a main Guardian of the Galaxy." He even mentioned like Quill is still broken from losing Gamora. Rocket's backstory, which is rumored to be a really, really big part of this movie, and a really, really sad part, and the other heavier stuff. Miguel, what are your thoughts? Are you okay with a darker Guardians film? You know what I mean? Like concluding their trilogy with a darker story?
Yep, I am. Because I don't think if you heard me. I saw the trailer. I saw the leaked trailer.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see that
you
either.
You get your first look at Adam Warlock.
You have no self-control, do you?
0 whatsoever. Yeah, like Adam, like you get your first look at Adam Warlock. You get to see. I don't know if you want to be spoiled by it, so I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, you see Adam Warlock. You see
we knew that was
Rocket's,
coming, though.
Yeah, and you also see Rocket's origin, and also they in the panel, it like the main villain, I forgot what his name, the inventor or something like that. He came in full costume and everything.
The Collector?
No, it's not the Collector. It's not the Collector. It's what's his name? Let me see. Villian. Yep, that's how I spell it.
Who's the villain of the movies?
He's playing High Evolutionary, and he's
duh.
Yeah.
He looks sick.
I'm not gonna say his name because I'm gonna fuck it up. But yeah, he's gonna play the High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary was a character that I wasn't super I didn't know a whole lot about him, but I did a little bit of research on him. So he was a former genetic scientist who was obsessed with genetics, which could be a really cool mutant tie-in, by the way. And he does have a little bit of a mutant tie-in. Like he's got connections to Wanda and Pietro, which is really a Magneto happen, but I doubt that's going to happen because Magneto's not their father in the MCU that we know of. But I doubt they're going to make Magneto their father. But he ends up creating these creatures called the New Men, which is like genetically engineered human animal hybrids, and he's got connections to Adam Warlock, who's already been teased. I think he's going to be a pretty cool, pretty bad villain. But I don't know. I'm okay with the darker thing. Like I think they've earned that. And I know, I mean, come on, it's a James Gunn film. I mean, look at the Suicide Squad, what he did with that film. That film had heart, but it was also hysterical. And I think James Gunn is really good at balancing that. I think as a director, he is definitely, I think James Gunn is a genius at really trying to balance the fun stuff with the dark stuff. And I think this film, if I had to guess, based on his filmography, I think Guardians 3 will feel a little bit more like the Suicide Squad than either of the 2 previous Guardians films. That's my take. And I'm okay with that. I think they're ready for that. It's not going to be as, they're not going to drop F-bombs all over the place. They're not going to, it's not going to be quite as hardcore as that was. But I think it's going to be a little bit more along the lines of what the Suicide Squad was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. So I completely agree with that. Josh says we're finally getting some Rocket backstory. Yeah, that's true, man. Because I took this quote as well. When talking about Rocket's backstory, James Gunn says, when I first started doing Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, I don't know, it sounds a little goofy. I thought it was going to be like Bugs Bunny joining the Avengers. But when I thought then I thought, if there's a talking raccoon, how is he real? Where does he come from? I realized he was the saddest creature in the universe. And that's what this story is about to a great extent. So I think they're going to touch on.
He really is.
Rocket being a product of the High Evolutionary and his weird genetic testing and experimentation and things like that. And I think there's a very dark, very serious story arc to be told there. And that could be something that's really, really interesting and something different. I think James Gunn is one of the best directors out there right now. I really do. I think he's got a lot of talent, and I'm very excited for what he brings. I think it's interesting, Guardians has had people cracking up for years, and now the fact that everybody watched this trailer and was bawling their eyes out, I think that says something. I think that's very interesting. So I'm definitely super excited for Guardians 3 as well. We talked Secret Invasion, we talked Quantumania, we talked some of the ones that are definitely coming, but they're just not quite there yet. Let's go ahead and talk Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because I just can't wait any longer. I have to see it. Y'all are sitting here teasing me. Miguel's been teasing me. We got the poster, just says Forever. Again, Miguel's favorite movie trope, where the poster doesn't even have to put the title of it on. Like what they did with Deathly Hallows. It just says It All Ends. And it's like, that's the final film. Or like the Halloween poster doesn't have to say Halloween ends. It just says It All Ends this Halloween. This one just says Forever. And I think that's sick. And it's cool that you see the Black Panther suit, but you don't actually, you can't see who's in the suit. I think that's very telling of.
No, his eyes are dark.
I think that's very telling of what we're going to get with this. So let's do this. We are going to
wait. Hold on. Let's see the poster real quick.
Okay.
Because you haven't seen the trailer yet, so I can't really say what I'm thinking right now about it.
Okay. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this before the trailer is released. So the panel, the Hall H presentation, began with a really, really neat cultural performance. With a lot of like traditional African performance. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. I watched the whole thing, and it's pretty sick. It's awesome to sit there and watch that. They did a really, really great job.
Look at all those people not present at the fucking beauty.
I know, right? They're sitting there seeing it through this.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
But Kevin Feige was joined by Ryan Coogler and a bunch of different cast members. Winston Duke was there. Denai Guerrero was there. Tanoka. I don't know. Is it Tanoke or is it Tano? I don't know. I don't know. The guy who's playing, my apologies, my friend. The guy who's playing Namor, Flores Kasumba, a lot of them were there. And of course, Letitia Wright as well, joining him on stage. The synopsis reads, in Marvel Studios' Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku, Okoye, and the Dora Milaje fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake
Tano Huerta. That's his name.
Yeah. Of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of War Dog Nakia and Everett Ross to forge a new path for the Kingdom of Wakanda, including Tino Huerta as Namor, king of a hidden undersea nation. The film also stars Dominique Thorne, Michaela Cole, Mabel Kanata, and Alex Livanelli. So that's the official synopsis. So this is very much about when Okoye says in Infinity War, she's like, I was thinking of Starbucks. No, but when they're talking about opening Wakanda to the rest of the world, I think this film is going to be that coming to fruition. So I'm not going to wait anymore. I don't care what you say, Miguel. I don't care if you want me to wait till next Saturday. I'm going to watch the trailer right now, and you can't stop me.
Bro, nobody's stopping you.
I'm kidding. All right, here we go. The Black Panther Wakanda trailer in 3, 2, 1. Wakanda forever.
You're gonna cry, dog.
We'll see.
No woman, no cry.
We'll see if I cry, peeps.
Little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry. Good friends.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say.
That's pretty dope.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright.
Riri.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Have I not given everything?
Everything's gonna be alright.
Hey.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. And when I wake up.
Ooh. Bro.
Yeah, imagine seeing that in the Hall H, bro. That shit gets you emotional, man. With the premise, with the
Listen.
the preview of all that, yeah.
That has the potential to possibly want to be in that. This could be even without Chadwick, God rest his soul. This could be in top 10.
Yeah,
Like
I
MCU
would
flick.
agree.
It really could. It legitimately could. I know some of you in the chat are saying you got teary-eyed. It's there. Even the
yeah. The
it's
emotion
there.
is there, man.
It's
I love the fact. I'll say
Whew.
this: I love the fact that they're at least acknowledging the fact that T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman's they acknowledge the
Yeah.
fact that Chadwick Boseman has died,
Yeah.
and that was like the main premise of the Hall H panel was like, you know, acknowledging the fact that, like, yes, Chadwick Boseman died, and we want to honor his legacy that he created with Black Panther. Because look, man, like he pretty much propelled Black Panther to become one of the most influential characters in the MCU, for that matter.
100%.
Not just Marvel comics, but just like the MCU in and of itself. So for his passing left a huge hole for not only the movie itself, but for the MCU as
I
moving
agree.
forward. So yeah, so I'm so glad they're acknowledging it. And I think the whole premise of the movie is going to be like, how can we move forward without Chadwick Boseman and the possibility of no Black Panther? Because you forget, I don't know if you've forgotten, all of the herbs are gone. All the special herbs that gives the power of Bast and the power of Black Panther, it's all gone after Killmonger destroyed it all, and the last one was
Right.
given to Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, to resurrect him. So yeah, so there's no way to be given the power of Black Panther just yet that we know of. So I think what they're going to try to do is try to find some herb that can help give that same ability, while also dealing with whatever drama and tribulation they have with between Namor and, I don't think they're called Atlanteans. I think they're going somewhere else with it. Now, we can talk about that later. But between Namor's group and Wakanda, and I think there's obviously going to be outside factors that come into play as well because of Roth being still in the movie, and and I think the hijacking of that ship. So there's obviously going to be like land people drama that happens with Wakanda, and I think it's just going to mainly talk
the land people.
I mean, I don't know how else to fucking say it, but there's going to be what happens after Wakanda opened up. They're going to be faced with so much more challenges than when it was secluded, because again, you got to think, the second they opened up, they lost half their people.
They did,
because of the fucking snap. So they're going through some shit. Wakanda is definitely going through something, and they need to rebuild as best they can. And I think this will be a very emotional one, because I think it's going to talk more about the culture of Wakanda and not only like the legacy of Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, but also of Wakanda in and of itself, and
Right.
learning more of the ins and out of Wakanda. And also, it's going to be great. It's going to, fuck, dude. Michael down. It's like the Annabelle doll. Like, you can't get it damaged or else you're going to be like fucking haunted. Where's your comb? I told you he was weird on those masks, guys.
I'm just kidding because I knocked it down. Go on.
No, I mean that's pretty much all I was thinking of in regards to this movie, and we could talk more about all the other stuff, like who's going to be in the new Black Panther suit. And
see, I was about to ask you. I was about to ask you that question, but after seeing that trailer, I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm okay with waiting and just kind of seeing where the wind takes me. I don't know if I'm ready to say it should be Shuri or it should be Okoye, or it's like I'm kind of okay with waiting and seeing where the wind blows on this one and what happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculations going on in regards to like who is going to be the new Black Panther, and while I'm also like speculating on that as well, one thing that I had a theory on was the fact that with Wakanda Forever, there's a good chance that might not be that scene with the Black Panther suit. It might not be a new Black Panther. It might be a flashback talking about what happened between Namor's people and Wakanda. Because if you go back to looking at Black Panther's father T'Chaka, his suit is gold and gold claws.
You're right.
It has gold
I could see that.
accents. So it could just be could very well just be a fucking. It could just be T'Chaka's flashbacks and their struggles between. So if you want to talk about that next, we can. But I think it's just gonna be a flashback. Whether it's Shuri or Killmonger for that matter, because there are theories going out that they want to bring Michael B. Jordan back, and they very well could.
They could,
but it could be three. It could be three things. It could be just a flashback with T'Chaka, Shuri, or Killmonger. Because I highly doubt they're gonna give it to what's his name in the movie? I forgot. He was the leader of the ape tribe or whatever. But I don't remember. But I think in regards to that suit, I'd much rather not know as well. Because again, Michael B. Jordan, I think, is casted in the movie, but we don't know what he wasn't in the panel, so it could be very well that he could be in I forgot what it's called, in Boss, that universe.
He could.
The ancestral plane. He could be there, mentoring Shuri, but we don't know. But yeah.
Jada, take care, man. See ya. Thanks for hanging out with us and for manning the chat for a little bit, buddy. So we'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
So by the way, I waited on the trailer, but I couldn't wait. Y'all know I'm a music person. The composer of the film, Ludwig Göransson, I think, released the prologue, which is out now. And if you haven't heard it, it's excellent. Like, I encourage you to go check it out. Like, again, I'm a music person, studied music, went to college for that. I teach music. And I always look for that in a film. And here's what the composer had to say about the first 3 songs that they released. This prologue is an oral first glimpse of Wakanda Forever. The sound world for the film began with extended trips to Mexico and Nigeria. So again, the Aztec thing, the African thing. We spent our days working with traditional musicians who educated us about the cultural, societal, and historical context of their music. We built a catalog of instrumental and vocal recordings with them that explored both traditional and non-traditional uses of their musical material. During the nights on these trips, we had recording sessions with contemporary artists who were akin to the characters and thematic material explored in the film. Using Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole's script as a blueprint, along with the recordings from the traditional musicians, we began to build a musical vocabulary from the characters, storylines, and cultures of Talokan and Wakanda. The instrumental score and soundtrack for Wakanda Forever both originally grew from these sessions and workshops. They are conceived together as a singular entity to create an immersive and enveloping sound world for the film. And there's 3 tracks. One is called No Woman, No Cry, which is what you heard at the beginning of the trailer. The other one is called A Body, a Coffin, and the other one is called Soy. So I've listen, I really appreciate how much effort they put into the musical choices and really trying to nail the cultural aspects of it. Like that means a lot to me, and I think that's really, really that's cool, and I think that's awesome that they put that much effort and that much thought into trying to make it perfect in that sense.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
I would say Black Panther is definitely one of the most like well-known cultural movies out there. So that's something that I think they definitely need to double down on in Wakanda Forever if they want to talk about just Wakanda in and of itself and the new Aztec underworld or world. I don't know if they're going to call it Atlantis yet, but
I don't think they
very
are.
well no. So they want to make sure they get each culture right, whether it's the Latin Aztec culture and also the African Wakanda culture. They want to make sure they double down on both of them because this is definitely going to be one of the most important cultural movies out there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in regards to Marvel. So
yeah. So let's see. So it's Talocan?
the Talocan.
Yeah. So
The Talocan is like an underwater world that in like Latin cultures, like it's like one of those what's it called, one of those legends, I guess, because you know how Atlantis has Atlanteans and all that stuff, but that's what is that? Is that Greek or is that it's European? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like a European legend.
It
But
might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Which might be one of the reasons they decided to change it from Atlantis to that. It doesn't, from what I can see on like the Marvel Wiki and from what I can tell, I don't think they're going to go with Atlantis. I think they're going to go with, you know, a different title, a different kind of vibe and things like that, which I'm okay with. I think that's okay. So I'm okay with it. And the reason I'm okay with it is because I think they're really, really, really going to use it for the better to really nail home the cultural aspects of what's going to make this so special. Rosalia says music on film is vital to set the tone for certain scenes and atmosphere. You couldn't be any more accurate.
Very true.
Like 100%.
Because Wakanda had one of the most beautiful aerial shots in all of Marvel, I would say, as compared to like Asgard and how they showed that in the Thor movies. Wakanda is probably one of the most beautiful cities, and I can't wait for them to show us what Namor's nation is going to look like. It's going to be fucking dope.
People don't realize how important sound and music is in film. Like, it's something that I think is overlooked by a lot of people, but it's so important. Even if it's not a big, you know, like the Avengers theme, or, you know, even if it's not something that you instantly recognize, like even if it's just background noise or what you would think of as background noise, like it can be so important. It can completely change how you experience a scene. Like, there's actually a couple of YouTube experiments out there. Like, go look them up. Like, there's a guy running through a park, and he's kind of looking behind him, and he's like, you know, he's running, and you know, it's the same exact clip, but one time they throw really heroic music, and it seems like he's a hero, like doing like the Spiderman rip off his shirt thing. But then they put scary music behind it, and it looks like he's running away from something. So it's like, it can literally change your perspective on what you're seeing just based on the sound that you're hearing. Whatever accompanies what you're watching on screen. Josh says the music/score is a character in any movie show itself. 100%. I completely agree with that too. It's its own character. One of those elements that can shape or break something. I completely could not agree more with any of you. Couple more things real quick. And these, listen, we don't have a ton of information about these last few things, other than they were announced and they're new. So one of those is Daredevil Born Again. This is going to be an 18-episode series. They're bringing back the original cast. And I'm super, super excited to see that original cast back. I know a lot of people, myself included, think that Daredevil is one of the best shows of all time. It was really, really well done. It was dark. It was gritty. The storytelling was on point. Charlie Cox did a really great job. Like, it was really, really, really well done. And I'm excited to see what they do with this. What do you think the Born Again part means, Miguel?
I don't know, but guess what? It's 16 fucking episodes.
It's 8. It's
16,
18.
18.
It's 18
Bro.
episodes.
Bro, we're gonna get like a couple of months. We're gonna get months of 4-ass months of Daredevil. Now with the whole Born Again thing, I don't fucking know. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
not
what
sure
that
either.
means.
I'm not sure what to take from that.
Yeah.
But the point is,
there are some funny Christian posts, and it was like, what does Born Again mean from Daredevil? Is like, and it had a picture of like of Matt Murdock. He says, I'm not Catholic anymore. I was like, fuck.
That's awesome,
Fuck.
dude. I'm excited, like, even to see what cameos are in that one. Like, you could have a Spider-Man cameo, you could have Punisher come back, you could, like, there's
That's
so
what's
many
so great about
options with what you can do with that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially since, you know, Echo, you have the Echo series. I'm sure she'll be in the Daredevil show. I mean, it's this one is going to be different. I think, I know a lot of people are worried that they're going to switch around the tone, but again, I think it's the Deadpool Marvel Zombies thing. I think Marvel is starting to understand that they need to try to incorporate darker storylines. Like, they're going to let Ryan Reynolds do his thing. They're going to let they're going to let Marvel Zombies be TVMA and let it be a little more gory and bloody. Like, I think Daredevil will be fine. I'm not worried about it. I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, no, listen, guys. Look, if you guys are concerned with the fact that like maybe Marvel and Disney Plus is gonna like fuck up Daredevil's story, you also got to realize when Daredevil came out, it was still part of Marvel. Like, it was subsidiary of Marvel. Yeah, so like it was like under Kevin Feige as well. Like, Kevin Feige was the main guy to talk to when it came to Daredevil during that time. Like, yeah, it was under Marvel and Disney. It just so happens that it just got bought out and they kept going with other stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm sure all the writers, all the characters, all that other stuff are gonna come back for that, because they know, like, I'm sure Kevin Feige and Disney knows that Daredevil is so great, and to change anything in regards to like how it plays out is not gonna do any justice to to what's been already said. And
Yep.
I'm interested to see what the whole Born Again thing is. I hope that's not like a play off words to a reboot. Really hope it isn't. But
I think they're wittier than that. I think it means something.
Yeah, exactly. So I am interested to see what happens after the events of Daredevil season 3.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think they've even said this is going to be like a soft reboot. Like, I think bringing Daredevil into the MCU, it's not a full-on reboot. Like, the continuity is the same, but it's still kind of gently rebooting it, which makes sense. I think they need to. Also, another big one, Captain America New World Order. We've heard a lot about Captain America 4 being in production and them trying to get the story off the ground and things like that. I really like the logo. I'm really digging what they're doing with Sam Wilson as Captain America. And the title of this, the New World Order thing, kind of makes me think that this is going to be a very big story, and we don't know very much about it at all, other than the fact that this is going to be Sam Wilson's first big debut in his own feature film as Captain America. But I don't, as far as the storyline, I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but New World Order sounds big. Like, it
sounds big, yeah.
Big burrito. No, but I mean, it sounds really big. It sounds like it's a storyline that could cross multiple countries and could involve a lot of different groups. You know, I think that I think there's a lot to do there with that character and with that world. And I did really, really like what they did with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It felt like a part of the world that we didn't get to see very often. Like, you know, we got to see the little guy, and I think I kind of appreciated that. And the same way with Ms. Marvel, it's normal people. It's not, like I like seeing like the whole the subplot in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier where we're starting to experience what the snap did to people. You know what I mean? Displacing all these people, like seeing that stuff. I think that's interesting. So I'm excited for New World Order, and I think that there's a lot to do with that storyline. There's a lot to do with that character moving forward. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what they're going to try to like push forward in the New World Order movie, was because of the fact that after the snap, like you got to realize that was 5 years of like half the population gone. Like imagine like that's a high school career, that's a college career right there. Like a lot happened in your college career, so like you're a completely different person. So like 5 years is a long time, and for everyone to come back and now everyone's going to be displaced. Like I'm sure that really set a factor into what the world, how the world's government and all this other stuff took fold after the Avengers saved the world or brought everybody back. So yeah, so now with Steve Rogers gone, and Sam Wilson and Bucky needing to work together again to help set the world right in regards to like set it in a order where everyone can coexist correctly now after the events of the blip. And we saw that in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We saw how like the government wasn't doing good whatsoever in regards to like helping to displace people, which is why we got the flag smashers and all that stuff. And now that Sam Wilson kind of sees all of that and sees that the Star Spangled Flag isn't so bright in the Marvel universe, he's gonna have to come to terms with that, because as a U.S. Air Force pilot, and with Bucky Barnes being a secret soldier, and just now coming to terms with him being able to control himself.
Yeah.
And after learning what happened with John Walker, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it is John Walker.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. After events of what happened with John Walker and knowing like how he was treated when he got the super soldier serum, like Sam Wilson's world in regards to like his nation is turned upside down, and he still needs to shine a light and say like, no, this is not who we are, and I need to show them who I need to show them what we could be. So yeah, this New World Order stuff has a lot of play on words in regards to like what the United States might do, with what Thunderbolts might do, what Steve with what Sam Wilson and Bucky might try to do. Yeah, it's a whole different meaning than what you would think with like tinfoil has like New World Order stuff. So like
I think it'd be cool. Well, and speaking of John Walker, Thunderbolts, that was another one that's been announced. If you don't know, Thunderbolts is basically like the Suicide Squad of Marvel. And I know there's a lot of talk about who we could see. There's talk of seeing Baron Zemo. There's talk of seeing Yelena. Because I forget what that chick's name is who showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but she also showed up at the end of Black Widow talking to Yelena. John Walker, like there's a pretty big roster of people that we could also see as the Thunderbolts, which are basically they're heroes. They're not villains, like the Suicide Squad is. They're heroes, but they don't go about things the same way that the Avengers and the Spider-Man. They don't try to take the high road. You know what I mean? They're willing to kill people. They're willing to do what needs to be done in order to save people, So that'll be kind of an interesting one too. I think that's going to be like the Metal Gear Solid of the MCU. You know what I mean? It's going to be kind of like the like a not darker, but I think it's going to be a little bit more metal than any of the other ones, but that'll be kind of a cool one. Who would you like to see show up? Could we see Frank Castle, you think, in the Thunderbolts, or is that does he need to stay his own thing?
It's hard because they're gonna go, because the Thunderbolts are going through the same situation that Wakanda Forever is going to.
I know, because the guy who played Thunderbolt Ross is gone.
Yeah, so like so like that's one person I was actually kind of excited to see was Red Hulk, but we're not going to get that. Or at least from what I know, they may recast him for that matter. But who am I excited? Who do I want to see? I don't know. Like, I don't know I don't even know who the villain could be in regards to that.
I don't know. I'm not sure what they can do
Yeah.
with that, but honestly, even
But nevertheless, I am excited. Like, don't mistake it. Like, I am excited for it. I just really have no like thoughts right now in regards to like how, as regards to what could be the synopsis of the movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was there anything reported on there?
No, there wasn't a synopsis or anything like that. I mean, it's still in pre-production. But like I don't know. Here's the thing. Honestly, I know William Hurt was good, but if you think back, Sam Elliott played Ross in the Eric Bana Hulk film, and I really liked him as Ross. I thought he was a better I won't say better, but he was my favorite Ross. I think he embodied the comic book accurate, just douchebag General Ross character, very like real, just like hard man, and that's kind of how Sam Elliott is in his film. So I think that would be a really cool if you're gonna recast Ross. I think that would be kind of a cool choice. Although Sam Elliott might be a little too old for that role. I'm not positive.
No, he could do it.
He probably could. Didn't get much about Fantastic Four, although this is kind of rounding us out here. The Hall H panel went out with a bang. We didn't get anything about Fantastic Four. I assume we'll get more about that, plus more about the things we didn't get at D23 later this year. But Kevin Feige did want to give everybody a glimpse at what we're building towards. Now, Josh, I think you had kind of mentioned this way earlier in the show, and I said we're going to get to this. So this, I guarantee you've probably heard by now, but the Multiverse Saga is moving towards 2 major Avengers films as the final concluding ones. The Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, Kang Dynasty, I believe, comes out in May. Secret Wars, I think, comes out in November. So right now, there are 2 Avengers films scheduled for literally like less than half a year apart.
Yeah.
Now,
that very well could change.
I don't think those release dates will stick. I have it right here in my notes. So Kang Dynasty is supposed to release May 2nd, 2025. With Secret Wars releasing November 7th, 2025. I do not expect those release dates to stick. I think they'll end up pushing Secret Wars probably to 2026. Call me crazy, but I'm still not convinced that Secret Wars is going to be a one-off film. Not a one-off, but I think it's going to be one film. I think they're going to pull an Infinity War Endgame situation and break it up into multiple parts, and I think it has to be. Everybody... after Endgame, the big question on everybody's mind was like, how do you top that? Could it ever possibly get better than that? And I think Secret Wars is the way to do that. Excuse me. But Secret Wars is such a big storyline that I really don't get how you could tell that story in one film. I just don't. I think you need to break it up. I really do. And Kevin Feige has since said that Kang is I think Kang is going to be the main villain. I really do. I think Kang is going to be the main villain of this saga, which I have mixed thoughts about. I'm excited that they're doing Secret Wars, but I also don't want them to rush into it. And the 5-year thing kind of scares me a little bit because I'm like, is it going to be rushed? Secret Wars needs to be like you need to nail Secret Wars, like pin it to the wall, nail it. Like it needs to be perfect. And it's coming up. 2025 is going to be here before we know it. It doesn't sound like it, but it will be. And there's a lot of story to be told. Also, Dr. Doom, bro. Where's Doom? I know he's rumored to make his first appearance in, at least Victor Von Doom is rumored to make his first appearance in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which makes sense given that Fantastic Four is on the way. But that's it, man. That's what we're building towards. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty on May 2nd, 2025. And then also Avengers Secret Wars on November 7th, 2025. Secret Wars is the big one. That's what we're building towards. That's where the MCU is headed. So it's going to be crazy. Well, and another thing, like, you know, Josh, you bring up a good point. Josh says, I don't know if we'll ever get anywhere near what Marvel built with what they started and did with the films leading up to Endgame, Thanos, and the Stones. Again, the question after Avengers Endgame was, how do you top that? And I thought that too. I mean, I remember you and I walking out of the theater and I was like, dude, they're never going to reach that again. Like that was the biggest like theater high you could ever have. But the more and more I've thought about it, and more I've thought about this, the reactions to Thor: Love and Thunder, I think that was just the initial high, like coming off of that Infinity Saga high. I think the question now, and the question has morphed into, how do we continue from Endgame? Like, how do we continue to keep the bar really high and to keep building the universe in ways that we haven't seen before? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Secret Wars could be a really cool way to do that. And I just hope, I would rather, listen, Josh, again, another really good point. He says that was years of building and they did all that great. And I don't know if we'll get something that tops that. If so, then hell yeah. I agree. Hell yeah. If they take the time to do it. My hope and I would rather them push it back a couple years and take the time to build it up into what it should be than just jump into it just to say, hey, we did Secret Wars, and it not live up to what the comic books, or to not live up to what it could be, because that comic book storyline is insane. So I don't know. What are
and
your
also
thoughts
Secret Wars? Secret Wars is pretty much kind of like a soft reboot if you think about it. In regards, if you're talking about like, you know, the second Secret Wars that happens, it was pretty much like a reboot of the comics. So
yeah,
I'm not sure. I think in regards to like the time between the Kang Dynasty and Secret Invasions, it sounds like there's a lot that needs to happen for both to have the same sense of weight that we got in Infinity War and Endgame. And if I had to guess, that with everything that's going on right now, with all the slates and stuff and what's going to happen, all the movies that are coming out, it doesn't seem like it's going to come to fruition. Like a lot of, like, it's gonna seem a little too rushed. But if you think about it, when you look at the timeline between like the events that happened, like the actual like release dates of the movies between Iron Man and Endgame, it seemed all over the place too, if you think about it.
It did.
Because a lot of people were wondering, like, well, like, who the fuck are the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, what's that gonna do? Like, what's this about the Ant-Man? Like, why are we gonna talk about Ant-Man, like, and all that stuff right now? Like, we have Endgame going on right now.
Yeah.
So like it's the same premise. Like, we don't know if it's gonna work because we haven't seen it yet. And I'm pretty sure when we see all these streaming these series and movies that are going to come out in the next coming years, we may start collectively. We may, like, I'm pretty sure, like, after the first movie, that next movie that comes out, like, we're going to get more hints of what's to come, right? Yeah. And then we're going to keep doing that for every other movie and series, and then guess what? We're going to have a better understanding of what's going to happen in the Kang Dynasty and what's going to happen in Secret Wars.
Right.
So yeah, I think right now it's just too early to tell. It's easy for us to have speculations on whether or not it'll work based on the announcements and the release slates that are happening, but it's just too early for us to tell exactly, like, if this will work or not. So it's easy for us to say that, but it's harder for us, like, you know, just actually sit down and watch and then make assumptions after every single movie.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I think, you know, Rosalia said earlier, it's a Marvel universe. We just live in it. That's true. Well, I'm excited for it, and I do think
that has more weight than you think. Yeah.
To wrap us up here, I think the good news is that it's coming, and people have talked about Secret Wars for a long time. People have talked about wanting to see that storyline brought to life. They did say the Russo brothers will not direct Secret Wars, which I'm okay with. Bring somebody new.
That was a pretty huge. That That
it
was
was
a
a
pretty huge
bombshell to a
announcement
lot
right
of
there.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm okay with that. My biggest thing, we just talked about a lot of different things, a lot of different announcements. I mean, everything in the Multiverse Saga, phases 4, 5, and 6, She-Hulk, Spider-Man, freshman year, Wakanda Forever, Quantumania, Blade, Agatha, Guardians 3, Secret Invasion, New World Order, Daredevil. I mean, there is a lot coming, and I just hope that, I don't know why I put that picture back up. I didn't mean to. I just hope that they take the time to build up the Secret Wars storyline like we did with Endgame. My fear is that it's going to be too much too fast, and maybe they're trying to do that. Maybe they are releasing a lot more content than they did before. You know what I mean? With the Disney Plus shows and things like that. So I don't know, but please, guys, if you are watching after the fact, let us know what you thought. I mean, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Let us know what Marvel projects you guys are the most excited for. We're excited for a lot of them. Secret Wars is up there. Daredevil Born Again is up there for me. Fantastic Four. I'm really, 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 really curious to figure out what they do with Fantastic Four. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I know Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is going to be one that a lot of people are keeping their eyes on. There's a lot coming, man. And I'm excited for all of it. Let's just hope that they as Josh said earlier, that they take the time to build it. And that the Infinity Saga was years in the making. And that's what made it so special, because I remember going and seeing Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and the Incredible Hulk like in the movie theater, and it was so amazing. And then seeing Endgame in the movie theater 10 years later, it was very poetic. So I'm hoping that they can bring that same poetic justice to this saga as well. So Miguel, Miguel, final thoughts, my friend.
Yeah. I think the difference that we have right now between the Infinity Saga and the Multiverse Saga is the fact that we didn't know exactly what was happening until it was announced.
Yeah.
After Endgame, we kind of know that, okay, something next has to happen, and we want to know. So, like, I think the main challenge we're all gonna have now is reminding ourselves that, like, this shit takes time, and that we don't know what's happening until it's actually happened.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
I think that's gonna be the challenge for a lot of us, and whenever we move forward in the next 5 years, is the fact that this shit's gonna be. We have to take ourselves back, to who we were 10 years ago, and just enjoy these movies for what they are, and then enjoy the after credit scenes or any other things that may happen that help lead us to another movie or another big bad or another big event. Like, I think we need to remind ourselves that those are things that are happening right now. That what's going on right now is what we're going to be experiencing. So let's try not to go too hard on these movies right now, because, like, let's just enjoy them for what they are, and then be excited for what's to come.
Yeah, and again, that's something that we talked about in I think it was 83, maybe episode 83 or 84. Something we talked about when we kind of did our little Thor Love and Thunder rant. So many people were jumping all over Thor Love and Thunder and saying it was a garbage movie, and that it sucked and it was terrible and it has no direction. But, like, just wait, like, just hang tight, just enjoy the ride. Don't dog on the saga just yet, or on the direction that they're going. Just enjoy it for what it is. Now, detractors of what I'm saying are going to be like, well, how come you can't say that about DC? And I'm going to say it's because DC feels like it has zero direction. Like, if it had some kind of direction, and if it felt like a cohesive universe, I'd be like, okay, cool, let's have some new, fun, interesting stories. But
the next time,
it just seems like there's zero direction at all.
The second I hear about Paul Rudd punching an old lady in the face, and it be on the news, and he gets arrested, then I'll compare it to DC. That's all I'll say.
Until then, a terrible comparison, but that's
well, I'm talking about with, like, Ezra Miller and all that stuff, because that's what's going on.
But that's not even what I was talking about. I'm just talking about from a storytelling perspective. It's just not
but
there.
that's mainly the fact of what's going on, is the fact that there's just so much shit going wrong outside of the movies that we just can't. They can't solidify an actual timeline. It's because of everything that's happening
That's fair.
behind the scenes. So, and right now, I guess, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a documentary about like how Marvel's been treating all these actors. Who knows?
Maybe,
but
maybe.
So far, they're being treated fine. We haven't heard any reports. Is it hard? Yeah, sure. But guess what? It's for the good of good of the audience members.
And we've said this multiple times. Oh, I am tired. No, I'm kidding. That's not what I mean. We've said this multiple times. Marvel is not perfect. It's not. And we are Marvel fanboys. I do prefer Marvel over DC, but I am a DC fan too. And it may not sound like it because I talk kind of negatively about the DCEU sometimes, but I do think that there is a ton of potential for the DCEU. I just think that they just haven't reached that potential yet. And I'm really, really hoping that's why I'm pushing for them to do original stories like what they're doing with the Batman and Joker, because I think those types of films will let them reach their full potential. I really do. So without further ado, we are at almost 2 hours, 2.5 hours on this one. If you're still watching with us, be sure to leave this a like. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on our first episode back. I'm going to go ahead and start getting the movie room more. It'll start to look more like the movie room after this. I know Miguel's background looks the same because Miguel didn't move. But I did.
Nope.
So Josh says, don't forget to tell your wife that Edward joke. I won't. I'm literally gonna walk upstairs and tell her right now. It's gonna be funny. So guys, new episodes of Let's Talk Movies and Purely and Simply Evil premiere every single Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Talk the Movies. You guys are absolutely amazing. Again, let me scroll up real quick. Again, if you want to donate to the Eastern Kentucky flood relief, you can click on that link. It's also in our community tab on the channel, so you can click that link and it'll redirect you to the state's flood relief. And I believe, I'll have to go back and check, but I believe you can pick individual organizations to donate to as well, and we'll try to post those in the coming days. So guys, you're amazing, and we love every single one of you, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.